I do think that they're being duped to think they're at Antarctica. I don't think Union Glacier is really at Antarctica. I think it's at a different location, and it's placed as Antarctica.
Welcome everybody!
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does the stupidity what pretending you didn't vape and hiding a vape in your bag that you forgot about for years does for your credibility. Today we're going to have a great fun debate. I'm not debating, I'm going to be sitting here moderating. Yes, that's right, I'm going to keep my trap shut for once. We are having the incredible Dave McKeegan and Flatzoid debate about whether the sun in Antarctica was fake or not. Now, obviously, recently, the final experiment made Dave McKeegan and a bunch of other people go to Antarctica. They forced them at gunpoint. I think that was how it went anyway. And they went to check if there was a 24-hour sun. Turns out that they definitely saw a 24-hour sun. But the question here today is, was that sun real? Were they in some kind of studio? Did Satan turn into a ball of fire? Did they stick a sun simulator on a snowmobile and drive it around the horizon? Who knows? We're going to try and find out. I'm going to introduce the people talking today. On the left, we have Dave McKeegan, who went to Antarctica and saw the sun. And we have Flatzoid from Flatzoid's perspective on the right. Dave, why don't you say hello? Oh, yeah, I should probably unmute you. That would be good. There we go. Now say hello.
Yep. Yes, please. That's better. I don't like being silenced. Hello, everybody.
Thanks for joining, Dave, and congratulations once again for what you did in Antarctica. Flatzoid, hello. Welcome back to the channel. How are you?
Hello. Always good to be here. Good to see you guys.
Thank you very much. Right, so Dave said that he'd be happy to go first with just a 5-minute go over of his side. Is that okay with you, Flatzoid? And then you can have 5 minutes, and then we'll just have like a 45-minute back and forth, and then we'll take questions from the audience and stuff and see how it goes. I know that you've got work tomorrow, so I try not to make it on too long, just a couple hours. So thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it. So Dave, why don't we go over to you? 5 minutes. Explain why you say the sun that you saw in Antarctica was real.
Can I pull my share screen up?
Yeah, I will just turn that on for you. There we go.
Where am I at here? There we go. Okay. Excellent. So, on December 14th, 2024, a group of 9 of us boarded a plane at Punta Arenas, Chile. We took off, flew south for 4 hours, landed at Union Glacier. We were there for 3 days until December 17th. During our time there, we did several live streams, took quite a few photos, lots of photos in fact, and several videos as well. and at no point during our time there did the sun set, despite us seeing the same sun that we saw in Chile. So I'm looking forward to hearing what evidence Flatzoid has to say that that's not actually the sun. And that pretty much concludes my presentation.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. Short and sweet. Flatzoid, you've got 5 minutes to do a brief review of why you say the sun wasn't real, and then we can just go back into a back and forward. Dave, would you stop screen sharing for that, please?
Yep,
Right,
there
thank
we
you
go.
very much.
Okay. Cool. The whole reason I say it wasn't real is because I haven't seen evidence that it has been real. It's just on the basis of, trust me, bro, it's not faked. The issue we've been having a lot is, especially because this whole thing was based on deception from the get-go from Mr. Duffy himself. And unfortunately, there's a lot of red flags that people have been pushing out that have been not really addressed, other than either excuses or just say, no, you guys don't know what's going on kind of thing. I have my own idea how I think you could have faked the sun, which I will be presenting. But yes, there are some things that just don't make sense, and I don't really take as just, trust me, bro, this is a sun that we saw in Antarctica, so that means that we just see it, and we had flat earthers seeing it, so therefore it happened. I have to make it clear, the people that represented the flat earth, so-called, were actual not flat earthers. They actually excommunicated flat earth at least 2 years ago. I got evidence from this as well. They are the same ones that have been called as shills for the last 6 or 7 years. So I don't actually care who they are and what they did. But again, the false dichotomy as well has still not been addressed by Duffy. And yeah, it is possible to fake this, even though you have a lot of cameras and 360 cameras images.
Okay, are you going to maybe give a suggestion of how you think it was faked so you and Dave can talk about that?
Yeah. Well, my idea is how they could have faked it was Duffy or someone could have gone earlier and got high-def HDRs surround environments of Antarctica, because when you look at the footage, we don't see Union Glacier anywhere around there, and they're only about 1.5 kilometers away. You should see Union Glacier Camp. We don't see Union Glacier Camp at Mount Rosman, so that shows that they were either probably there when it was off-season, when there were no tourists available. They were able to get their environment done, HDR environment done, and they could recreate it in Unreal Engine 5 if they wanted to. And therefore, when they did all really go down in December, they were able to just fake the sky and have the rest as a real environment.
Okay, is that your entire presentation or
Yeah,
at
that's
least
just
overview?
that's what I'll bring for now, yeah.
Okay, right, we're going to go into a back and forth then. Just before we do, I want to say thank you everyone for joining. Please make sure you smash the like button and share the stream. I will be on the 14th to the 16th of February in New Jersey as part of DebateCon 5. We're debating against Andrew Wilson from The Crucible on what is better for ethical foundation, Christianity or secular humanism. I will also be meeting Witsit, so that's going to be fun. Please make sure you check out everything that's going to be happening around that. I'll be doing lots of live streams on the way and whilst I'm there. Make sure you subscribe to both Dave McKeegan and Flatzoid to see their content, but let's get into it and let them have a back and forth. Dave, I'll let you start by responding to anything from Flatzoid there, and I shouldn't need to jump in. I hope you can both be as nice as possible to each other. Flatzoid, just like you were with Peterson, that was perfect, all right?
Perfect. On a quick unrelated side note, just with you, with your upcoming trip, Craig, and you meeting Witsit, could I just recommend you start crowdfunding for your bail now?
Yeah, someone's already told me that they'll post my bail for me, so yeah. Although I have promised my wife I won't get arrested, so I've got to be good.
Yeah, she'll kill you otherwise. Perfect. So, Flatzoid, with regards to, it's an interesting idea you've put forward there. I just want to make sure that I completely understand your position. So, you're saying we did 2 trips to Union Glacier, one in the off season, and then one in December.
No, not all of you.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So there was 2 trips. So you're saying what?
Yeah.
Will or somebody? One of us went off season, and then we all went in December. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what exactly was the purpose of the trip in the off season? Was it to shoot what scenery? Did you say?
Yeah, to get the HDR environment, so you're able to create it in Unreal Engine as real as possible, and then you can replace yourself in there when you guys really are there, so you can fake the sky.
So when we went back up in December, what are you saying that we then did? What are you saying I did?
Well, you guys were there, and it looked like you took observations, obviously, but
Right.
you were able to fake the sky because the sky was faked using Unreal.
So the sky was right. So we took. What would be the point of going in the off season then to shoot the scenery if we're already back there shooting the same scenery anyway?
Because you needed to set up the environment.
Okay. So
you needed to go and take HDR imaging in the off season to do it.
Oh, okay. So somebody went down, filmed the scenery, then created the Unreal Engine. Okay. How was that then projected?
What do you mean? How's it projected?
Well, somebody's made this
processing.
so somebody's made this video. Why do we then need to go back to Antarctica?
To show you were really there, because remember,
Right.
Round and while you were there is real.
Okay, so in the footage, so the time lapse that I shot then, for example, what is that? Unreal Engine?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like I say,
so
this isn't, like I was just saying, this is not what I say is happening. I'm just saying this is one of my ideas that could have happened to fake it.
no, that's fine. But I just like to, if I'm gonna prove where issues are wrong, I need to make sure that I fully understand what you're suggesting, because all of the time-lapse footage and the real-time footage that Will and Toon have both put out, you can see us there. We're moving around. Is that us in Antarctica in December?
Yes.
So how are our shadows doing a full 360 degrees on the ground?
Unreal Engine has a thing with called ray tracing, and it's able to map shadows and light over an environment. That's why I said they were able to get that environment, 3D render it, and then have you guys overlaid in that 3D environment, so the shadows are able to be rendered through light tracing.
Okay, so what footage did my 360 then capture?
Normal 360 footage, but in processing you are able to stick a fake sun in.
Oh.
Let me.
Right.
I just wanna. I've actually got. This is This is just a joke, actually. Can I send you a link, Craig, that you can show? Because I don't think I'll be able to share screen. I'll send it in Discord.
All right, nice.
If it would open.
Hello, everyone in the chat. Hello, Mallory. Nice to see you there. Oh, Ashton's in the chat. Ashton doesn't like getting memberships. Don't bother trying to give him one. All right, let me just put this up for everyone to see then quickly. Just turn this one into display 2.
You can tell the sky is fake, but the rest is real. Now this is also done on Insta 360.
Right. So that's what you're saying that is the kind of technology that they've used in Antarctica.
More or less the guidelines. In other words,
So
I'm just pointing out it's easy to fake a sky.
Oh, so we shot it on an Insta 360 and then we rendered in the sky to the footage afterwards before uploading it to YouTube.
You could do that, yeah.
Okay, because here's the 360 that I shot it on, and if it's going to play, here's the time lapse playing back live. Why aren't you playing? Well, it would play back normally. Hang on. There we go. So I have the original file on the
They're all-
Insta360, not faked. So, according to you, that should have the sun set on it. So,
Are we going to watch the whole 12 hours, 24 hours?
no, that's a 25-minute video. I can sit here for 25 minutes if you want, but I can guarantee you the sun doesn't set. Or I could pull the original file off this into Insta Studio, and the sun doesn't set.
Mm-hmm. Like I
Okay,
said,
so that-
it's only an idea.
Okay, so,
But it is possible that you guys faked it, correct?
well, no, I was there.
Because you say so.
Well, I'm taking your word for you that you exist. You could be AI. I'm taking your word that I was there. You had the opportunity to go. All flat earthers had the opportunity to go. Only Jaren and Austin actually took the offer up.
And that's where we say they were planned to go taking this trip. No one trusted them from the beginning.
So why didn't you come along to check? Why didn't any flat earther attempt to crowdfund themselves to come along as well, in order to, you know, if you say that Jaren and Austin were shills and weren't really part of it, why did you make no effort to crowdfund to come along? How many flat earthers, prominent flat earthers, put the name down for the golden ticket?
Because I said it's a false dichotomy. It doesn't matter whether the sun is there or not. And it's still, again, it doesn't really matter if the sun is there or not. The whole point is there's a lot of fakery going on, and unfortunately we can't just trust anything being put forward. If any evidence does come out, like your Insta360 can show on the screen, that shows, okay, 24-hour sun, I can accept it. But that doesn't change whether the Earth is flat or not. The thing I'm pointing out is there's a lot of deception based on this thing. And I don't just trust just because someone says, trust me, bro.
No, that's fine. If there's issues that you've got, then you know I'm an open book, Flatzoid. You can ask whatever you think doesn't add up. Ask away. I'll give you the answers.
I just want to see if I can get something quickly. I want to find out that guy that you guys, or that Brazilian guy from Antarctica or whatever, that Banjo keeps bringing up.
He was something to do with the ice marathon that was running a few days beforehand. We bumped into them on December 11th in the hotel lobby. It was only because they were wearing T-shirts advertising the ice marathon. We got chatting to them. We mentioned that we're going out in a few more days' time and we're taking flat earthers to go and see. And yeah, whoever that Brazilian is, I don't recall. Yeah, he was quite taken with it all.
But you guys saw him there, though.
Saw him where?
Where was he with you guys at Union Glacier?
No, we saw him in the hotel before on the 11th. He was part of the group that flew out on the 12th for the ice marathon that was on the 13th. And then the plane that we arrived on the 14th, they got onto that plane to head back to Punta Arenas. So we basically sort of like ships that passed in the night.
Oh, okay. Because what's interesting, I just sent a screenshot to FTFE again, if you would just bring that up quickly.
Yeah.
Because we were looking at something that looked very interesting. It's almost like it was, I don't know. If it brings it up, I'll explain it. But I must say, I enjoy this chat with you, by the way. This is how Witsit was supposed to do it.
Yeah, but Witsit's useless.
Yeah, well, I've had
face
face-to-face conversations with Witsit, and he gives me a fucking headache too. So,
I mean, I did say that to Will Duffy that he would have been better giving 40k to the Hoktua coin than taking Witsit to Antarctica. So, but yeah, that's up on screen, Flatzoid.
Yeah. Okay, the point we were making here is, this is Duffy with the grey is when he's literally just come back from Antarctica, and that's McToon when he just come back from Antarctica. But if you look at the photo of them in Punta Arenas with this Brazilian guy, their hair is like very different. I mean, McToon doesn't even have grey hair. He's he even looks chubbier. You know what I mean? They look younger. So the thing is, we were looking at this like, but how is this possible that you literally 4 days go by and then you look like like you aged a year or something? How does that happen?
Lighting makes a very big difference to those things, and you're looking at two videos that are shot. Excuse me, Will and Toon are shooting in a room under control lighting versus standing in a hotel foyer shooting on a phone.
And that makes you chubby as well. Very chubby.
That's one particular screen grab that it could just be the way he's standing versus the way he's holding his head in the video. If I can find wherever I
accept when you can say lighting and things do change, even aperture. I mean, even your focal length is going to change how a person's facial features change. So I'd agree with that, but it looks too much of a far stretch to just see that there.
Well, where are we at here? So, right. Craig, can I share my screen a sec?
Yep, should be able to.
So this was the photo that we took of ourselves the day that we all arrived, or the day that 4 of us arrived. You know, so I mean, they don't look that dissimilar there. That was us in the hotel lobby, the same day that what you were talking about. That was one of the other ice marathon guys that they were talking to. So it was just we bumped into him in the hotel, like I said, the day before. Try and pull up the date details for it if you want to check the date of everything. But there you go, December 11th. So it was in the foyer 3 days before we flew to Antarctica. We saw this guy was wearing an ice marathon t-shirt, and we started asking him about it because we knew the ice marathon was going on. And then once they heard we were dealing with flat earthers, they were sort of dead eager to be recorded having conversations about the numerous ice marathons that they go and do both in the north and in the south.
Oh, that's quite cool. Where is it now? But yeah, no, I agree with you. That's quite cool. And then I just want to ask about the dates. Because I think you guys heard Solve talk a lot about this. The dates, like, what did you guys do on the 18th?
In the 18th, we were back in Punta Arenas.
Were you guys scheduled to leave on the 18th or the 17th?
So the original schedule, the plan was from the outset that we were flying out on the 14th and flying back on the 18th, but ALE made it clear to us from the outset that is very weather dependent, which is why they told us don't book your flights out of Chile, don't arrive in Punta any closer than about 2 days before you fly, before going to Antarctica, and give it at least 2 days afterwards, because the weather's very unpredictable. So your flights may be going early, they may be going later. We arrived on the 14th. We spent the 15th up at halfway point. We were back in the main camp some point early hours into the 16th. I woke up after my 47-hour stint of being awake. I woke up at about just before midday on the 16th, and I think it was Mark Herman had passed the message on to me that they'd said there's weather closing in, so that they'd made the decision that they were going to try and fly us out on the 17th. We were all quite happy with that. We'd rather be not snowed in. Yeah, it was ALE's call. Well, in fact, it was the pilot's call. They'd said whatever the forecast was, they weren't prepared to risk waiting until the 17th. So till the 18th, they were flying in on the 17th, and the evening of the 16th. Throughout the whole day, I think that's the day that MC Toon's video's recording the sundial, and you can see the clouds are rolling in, the wind's picking up, the weather was turning bad. If you watch Jaren's GoPro video, it's pretty much in chronological order. When you get towards the end of the video, you'll see me, him, and Toon riding bikes around the camp, and we're in ski goggles, balaclavas, the whole works, because the wind had picked up so much. It was absolutely Baltic.
Yeah, it looked quite cold that time. That was when Whitsett still had that white jacket on, I think. What did I want to ask now? Everybody's asking about you guys' passports. I'm sure you guys will be able to show your passport stamps, obviously, because I don't know why they.
You can see the passport stamps, but they're not going to tell you a busting lot. I know Sovereign kept mentioning passport stamps, but what he doesn't seem to realise is Chile only, the customs controls at Chile, border controls at Chile, only stamp your passports when you enter Chilean territory or you then leave it. So I have a stamp there for the 10th when I arrived in Santiago. And then on the next page, I have a stamp on the 20th when I then left, and a stamp for Antarctica, but because Union Glacier is part of Chilean territory, they didn't stamp the passport out or back in when we flew back in. So there's no stamp saying that we left on the 14th and no stamp saying we arrived back on the 17th, because we didn't leave Chilean territory. They didn't need to stamp our passport.
Oh, so does Union Glacier still fall under Chilean territory then?
Yeah.
Oh,
Antarctica split up into numerous points, and
Yeah.
Union Glacier stays in Chile. That's why we were still on Chilean time, because it's part of Chilean territory. From Union Glacier camp, about, I don't know, a mile up the road, there's a Chilean airbase. Well, let's say airbase.
Yeah,
there's a Chilean base there.
Yeah, the Navy still landed there with the big plane there. I think the day you guys left on the 17th or something.
Yeah, all the big planes land at the main ice runway, but the smaller propeller planes land at the camps. And there's a Chilean camp, only a small one, just down the road from Union Glacier.
Did you guys go and look at the plane when the Navy landed there?
Hang on, I'll bring it up here.
It's quite a cool plane.
It was, well, it's the I don't know if it's a Navy plane. It's the cargo plane that resupplies it, but they did tell us and said the planes. It was the day we did the scenic flight, so it was the 16th after we got back from halfway point. Yeah, and the plane landed.
Yeah, it's a P3 Orion.
No, not the P3 Orion, the Aleutian. We saw.
Aleutian. Okay.
Yeah, the big cargo plane. So I'm just going to share this up here. So, yeah, this was the Aleutian parked up in Punta Arenas as we were getting out of the van to get onto the plane to fly in the first place. And then while we were over there, the plane was unloading whatever and then taking back off again. So they drove us down to the ice runway to see the plane take off.
Yeah, the plane I was talking about is a different one though.
Oh no, we didn't see any P3s there, but I don't know whether they land at the shit, I've lost my Zoom page. I don't know whether they land at the ice runway or at the Chilean base. I think they land at the ice runway, but they only took us to see the Aleutian, not the P3.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because Witz had said everybody went to go and look at the Navy plane coming and the P3 Orion, but he stayed behind, something like that.
Yeah, him and Jaren didn't bother coming down for the cargo plane. Wasn't their cup of tea. Lisbeth wanted to come, missed it, so they ended up, one of the staff drove her down on a snowmobile to catch up to us. And then they drove us off further in across the glacier to some ice hills somewhere.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And then my other question is, why the left boot, man?
Oh, King Nico is something bloody special. It's utterly ridiculous. It's literally, I needed a boot. Well, I say I needed a boot. You know, batteries don't like the cold. So I thought, I've got all these batteries. I need to keep them somewhere warm next to the camera. The boots, when you see them, they're like padded like hell inside. They're so heavily insulated. So I thought, great, I'll put the power backs in there. The black as well, so sitting in the sun, they'll keep nice and warm. So I just grabbed a boot off the pile, put it next to my tripod, put the batteries in it. It was the right boot I'd picked up. I wasn't thinking about it. The left boot was still over there. Will ended up using that for the Candace Owens live stream, but then that ended up dying on its arse halfway through because of Starlink. So I took the boot back, and then for my live stream, I thought I'll include sort of telling everyone about my setup because I've just got this random boot on the floor with a bunch of cables coming out of it. I want to give an explanation. So I thought I'd like to show the inside of the boot and show all the padding that's in there, but I can't use the right boot. It's over there with everything in it. I'll go and get the other boot.
Yeah, because we also saw if we looked at Matoon's footage as well on his tripod, he also had the left boot in his tripod with everything in there. And that's why everyone's like, why is it just the left boots the whole time? Is it just a coincidence?
Well, both of my boots were on tripods at some point, so...
Yeah. And then everybody's also asking about the shirtless photo.
So you can thank Jonathan Morandi for the shirtless photo, because when we first arrived, well, you can see if you look at the video Mark Herman shot, when we first arrived, the sun was clear skies, sun beating down on us, barely any wind. I don't think there was any wind at all when we first arrived. There was wind at the runway, but at the camp there was nothing. That's why they put the camp there, because it stays quite sheltered. So within 5 or 10 minutes, I'm walking around. I've got this polar jacket on, polar gear, like polar pants, polar boots. I'm sweating. So I'm then ditching all these layers. So I ended up just I had the 2 layers of pants on, thick, fairly warm walking boots and socks, but then I just had a t-shirt on. And then Jonathan sat down on this chair and he goes, Dave, take me camera, I want a shirtless photo. So he's just got this, he took this photo, he took his t-shirt off just so he could put his feet up and have this photo of sort of sitting in Antarctica shirtless. And then we said, let's get a group photo. And then he said, oh, we should go topless again. So 4 of us decides, all right, the shirt was off for a matter of minutes, but when the sun's out and there's no wind, even though the actual air temperature is cold, you don't feel it because you're heating up just as fast, if not faster. So yeah, it wasn't actually in the camp at that time. You could get away with it. I didn't keep it, like I said, I didn't keep it off for long. It was just sort of shirt off, quick picture, shirt back on. Just thought it'd be funny. But
is it a claim that that's a Freemason thing?
Yeah,
everything's a bloody Freemason thing these days.
The problem with that is it's based on a Mason ritual, especially the checkered, because it's shirt off, shirt on, shirt off, shirt on, and that's why everybody's saying, yeah, it's based on Freemason symbolism. The thing that gets me with like, you guys know when you go to places, especially that's hospitable and cold, you're not supposed to wear cotton shirts. And what is it that everybody was wearing cotton shirts though? How's that clever? Let's put that. How's that taking consideration that it's dangerous to be wearing a cotton shirt in that weather?
I wasn't wearing cotton. I was wearing polyester. I was wearing like a gym t-shirt. The cotton side of it is
a tune, I think.
Yeah, so what they say about cotton is, because it says for all of the clothing equipment in the write-ups, go with polyester, all the thermal layers and everything, don't wear cotton. And it's because cotton absorbs moisture. So if you sweat, your t-shirt then is going to end up holding the moisture, it's going to freeze. Mm-hmm. But that's more of an issue if you're actually going to be doing sort of strenuous activities like skiing, hiking up mountains or whatever. So Carty, the ALE rep who was in Punta Arenas, because I'd never give it a second thought, she said she literally wanted everyone's clothes, like went around every person one by one. She said to put all your gear laid out in your room so that I can go through it all, check it all, it's okay. She checked everything, she was fine. She said, where are your underpants, your boxers? So I was like, well, they're here. And she went, are they cotton? I was like, I never thought to check. I checked, I was like, yeah, they're cotton. I was like, do I need to go buy some more? And she said, you're probably fine because you're not doing anything strenuous. It's just be mindful. If you do end up doing something that you do start getting sweaty, it's probably best to change your clothes a bit more often. Not that that was an issue for us, but basically that's why they put the advisory in that, you know, most people go to Antarctica not to stand around, look at the sun for 24 hours. So we kind of, you know, ours wasn't a typical case.
Yeah, I saw those other people with you. They were like skiing and things. They were like enjoying the hiking and things. So for them, I would think it's more important, obviously. No, I agree with that. I'm just trying to think of all the different things that people are asking so we can try and see. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys know why did Whitsit lie and say that you guys knew you could take extra luggage and they couldn't? And then when we watched Jaren's footage, I'm like, but Whitsit, you got this big duffel bag with you with all your equipment. That's the same as what you guys are. So I don't understand.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Witsit, because this is the same person that seems to think that saying they didn't vape when they were vaping is a bright idea. We had collectively a Zoom call all together a week or two, I think, before we flew out. Will wanted everyone on a Zoom call together to look through, make sure basically everyone had the right gear. And the conversation of luggage got brought up because it was a bit ambiguous in ALE's material as to what the luggage limit was, because it said no bags can be any more than 25 kilos, but you can take as many bags as you like. So I was like, well, that technically means we could take then as much as we want, as long as we put it in separate bags that no single bag is more than 25 kilos. And then Witsit said, no, the limit is 25 kilos total. So we didn't really know. He said it was 25 kilos total, and then you end up you'd have to pay extra per pound, and it'd end up costing a lot of money. So there was only actually two people that took more equipment, me and Jonathan. That's not all Globers, that's one from each side. And we did it because we had all the camera gear. My mindset was, I've got more than 25 kilos luggage allowance from the UK to Chile. So I'll just pack as much as I can fit into my cases. I'll take everything to Chile. I'll find out from ALE what the deal is there. And then if I need to leave stuff behind, I'll make that decision there rather than leave it all at home and regret it later. Carty, because I asked her, I said, what's the deal with the luggage? And she said, basically, it turns out every trip has a different weight limit, depending on which trip of ALEs you're going on. Ours was supposed to be 25 kilos. In fact, I can even...
Because you guys were actually less people, so it means you could have taken more.
Yeah, so that's why we weren't sure. And Carty said that she would then go and check... where is it? I've got a message in here somewhere from Carty that basically says the luggage allowance should be 25 kilos, but they've made an exception. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you can see that there. Yeah. So she said, yeah. So it should be you're allowed. So it should have been 25 kilos. They extended it to 50 because of how much gear me and Jonathan had. But we didn't find out about that until we were already in Punta Arenas. We just took all the gear with the mindset of either we'll leave it behind in Chile, or we'll pay extra to take it with us. But we just figured we'll take everything to Chile and we'll work out from there. So there wasn't some big conspiracy. It was me and Jonathan because we had a bunch of cameras.
I have a question. Who is Jonathan, though? Because it's the first time I heard of him when you guys would talk about him there.
So Jonathan's a filmmaker. I didn't know anything about him until he was somebody that Mark Herman knows. So it was basically the I can't remember the details of it all, but basically a slot opened up, and it was a case of who takes the place, and Mark suggested to Will, I know somebody, he's a filmmaker, but he's a flat earther as well. So we thought that because Will had said from the outset no filmmakers, but that was because Jaren had a concern about a sort of anti-flat earth documentary going out. So we figured, well, if it's a flat earther that's doing it, there's not going to be that same bias. So yeah, I knew nothing about Jonathan until we had a Zoom call to introduce him to the group.
Yeah, because I heard apparently he does things for Disney or something. So I was like, okay.
I think he. Well, I don't know. He's
Yeah.
probably done work. Most filmmakers and photographers and that are freelance anyway, so he's probably done work for companies like that before. But yeah, Mark Herman, he was somebody that Mark Herman knew.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about him until beforehand. All I know is that he was a flat earther. People have said, yeah, they've seen posts of his from like Facebook from years ago and stuff where he was actually talking about flat earth, so it's not like he's just making this shit up. So yeah, he was
Also,
another person who came on the
trip. Do
trip.
you think he would talk to me if I get hold of him?
I don't know. Well, you'd have to speak to him. I don't know how busy he is. I know he's obviously got this documentary that he's working on at the moment. I don't know how long any of that's going to take, but given the amount of footage that he was shooting,
That's a lot of
going to
data.
be. Yeah, so I don't know. Best case, I'd reach out to him or see if Will will give you details to reach out to him and see what he says. I don't know how busy he's going to be.
Awesome. Appreciate it. And I do appreciate you actually taking the time to actually talk like this, man. Because this is the first time I've actually had a proper conversation with someone about this, by the way.
Yeah, I think people in the chat are very confused. Yeah, this is the FTFE channel, just in case you're wondering. I know I'm not shouting at people, and the flat earthers aren't like rage quitting and stuff. So this is the FTFE channel. It's not some kind of alternate reality. And I want to say thank you to everyone because we peaked at just over 1,900 people watching there, which is absolutely incredible. So thank you very much. All right, Flatzoid, do you have any?
What happens when Craig's?
Sorry, go on.
This is what happens when Craig's not allowed to speak.
Yeah, I'm trying. Right, Flatzoid, do you have any specific issues with what they captured of the sun that you can bring up with Dave?
There was one place I got, I think it's still here as well. I got a timestamp. Oh, I don't know where it is now. Probably deleted it already. But anyway, I've got a timestamp where Jaren's GoPro footage. We took it of where the sun was over Mount Rosman at a certain place, and then we took your time-lapse footage and we placed it by each other, and they looked very similar, but on Jaren's right side there seemed to be clouds that weren't on yours. Now we don't know if that's just from the angle and the glare, or it could that just looked very fishy to us because mostly looked the same, but I saw that glare. And then what else did I see wrong? A lot of people were saying with McToon, the light didn't look like, when you get light wrap around, like if you have a pole coming, it wraps around. With McToon's head, it literally just goes like it's in front of his head and not wrapping around it like you would see normally.
Well, I think I know the one you're referring to, because I know Toon did a video to kind of address that, and you kind of don't appreciate from the footage how much of the sun is actually glare versus the sun itself. The sun itself is actually kind of really small in the sky. It's mostly glare. So when you put something blocking it, it doesn't actually take as much to remove the glare. You kind of see that all around anyway. So without seeing specifically which bit you're referring to, it's kind of hard to judge because I've not seen it. I just know that Toon's addressed it, but I do know from what I saw, yeah, it's there is a hell of a lot of glare from the sun. Like I was trying to get certain shots where I was just trying to get the sun sort of peeking off the edge of an ice hill when we went up visiting there. And I was almost like falling over trying to work like of how far I was having to lean into the sun because I thought, there's the edge of the sun. No, it's not. It's into the glare. It's yeah, really small. Mostly glare. So it could be that the Insta360s do produce so much glare.
Yeah, I can take that as well. And then the other thing I was thinking, the light. I don't know if you guys saw that the argument where they talk about the sky itself, where the whole sky stays exactly the same blue right through. It doesn't change hue at all. It just stays the same shade of blue right through, even when the sun is going lower and higher.
Oh, yeah, is that Don't Sphere the Truths one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't really know what to say other than the sky didn't change colour. if Don't Fear the Truth's footage is on like if they're shot on a camera with a fixed white balance or I know my Insta360 was set to auto white balance, so it'll have been picking up white balance off the snow around it. If you actually compare up my footage to Will's, mine's bluer than his because the white balance settings were slightly different. His has got a more neutral color. Mine's shifted more to blue. The sky wasn't changing color. The sun was sort of raising and lowering in the sky, but the sky itself wasn't changing color. I don't think I changed my white balance settings at all during any of the photos or videos that I took, and the sky's pretty much the same color in every single shot.
So if it could just be down to exposure, though.
It could be. Without knowing what settings were used on the camera, it's kind of impossible to tell, because that's why generally they say don't shoot videos, don't record videos with an auto white balance, because the color temperature is going to constantly change all the time. Even though your lights are consistent, the white balance is going to constantly bounce everywhere. So
yeah. And then Mount Rosman. I mean, you guys. Jaren was saying that you were looking south towards around Mount Rosman, and Whitson was saying no, that's to the north, that's a different mountain. So again,
I can answer that one for you. Whitsit phoned me and said that he spoke to Jaren phoned me and said that he spoke to Whitsit about what he was saying. Whitsit didn't realise which side he was on. That's basically that. Whitsit is too dense to realise which side of the mountain he was on, and that's what Jaren said that Whitsit told him. Basically, Jaren had to convince him that no, we were on that side. You were wrong.
Yeah. And then the upside down compass. What? I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh, so I briefly saw a clip of it. Well, I can't. I didn't do anything with the compass. We worked out north-south based off GPS position. Jaren's one versus the example that you showed. The example you showed seems to be much slower and steadier with moving the camera and the compass, like it's got time to react to it, whereas Jaren seems to be more like shifting it around quite a bit. Also, I don't know, isn't there typically fluid? No, there's not fluid inside a compass.
There's a fluid in that one.
So I don't know if the temperature had anything to do with it either. I don't know if that if getting into colder temperatures made the fluid slightly more dense and added a bit more resistance. It's a possibility.
Yeah, because what we've been seeing is where he went and bought exactly the same compass, and when he turned it upside down and he moves it, it doesn't shift whatsoever. But as soon as he turns it the right way around, then it shifts to the pole. And this is why everybody's saying, well, this could also show it's faked, because he's deliberately turned it upside down so it's stuck in that static position to show north and south, because you guys weren't really where you said you were. That's also one of the red flag issues we see.
No, well, I mean, like I say, we'd worked out north-south before Jaren did, because Jaren came over asking me which way north-south was. We'd already figured north-south out for, my EQ mount, but we did it using the GPS coordinates, not a compass. So, yeah, Critical Think and Toon used the GPS position to work out exactly where the longitude line was, so that I knew where to aim the EQ mount at.
Yeah, because Mount Rosman is anyway south, direct south anyway, so where you guys were. So you could more or less get it that way. I'm just trying to think of all the things that people see red flags.
One thing you said, Flatzoid, during the beginning was that you didn't understand why they couldn't see the base from where they were at the halfway point. Was that right?
Yeah. I said why? Because there's only 1.5 kilometers away.
Yes, but you are making the assumption that the ground between the two camps is flat, and it's not. So
when we see the... Yeah, are you able... Yeah, that'll be interesting to show.
So So the twin otters, you know, the orange planes, that there's 3 of them at least that were in at the main camp.
Because I did see at the end of McToon's 24-hour that Hilux came out of Union Glacier, but it showed it looked almost like it was coming from a hill, you could say.
Yeah. So here's one of the twin otters that I captured from halfway point, flying into the main camp. So this is the start of the Mount Rossman sort of mountain in the background, and you don't see the plane touch down because it disappears behind the ice ridge. So the camp itself is actually
in a valley.
Yeah, the ground slopes down, which is why we couldn't see the camp from Union Glacier. We couldn't see Union Glacier from. Where's my? I'm still stuck on screen sharing, Craig. I've lost.
Sorry, I'll turn off.
Oh no, there we go. Right, there we go. Yeah, from Union Glacier camp, we couldn't see halfway point. From halfway point, we couldn't see Union Glacier camp. But, like I said, we couldn't actually see the planes land.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then there's another one with the sun based on your solar sunspots. There was a video going around it actually today. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I've not seen anyone address that.
Who is it by?
I'm trying to see if I can quickly get it, and I can send you the link quickly. Where they tracked how it moved around. It was actually very interesting. By
Peak 2000 watching, guys. Thank you very much. Get your questions in for the chatters. We're going to go for about another 10 minutes, open conversation, and then read some questions. Super chats do get priority, but you can tag me in the chat, or best way to probably DM me on Discord. But obviously, super chats do really help the channel as well, and they do get the priorities to be read out. And remember, Flatzoid can only be here and for like another hour and 20 minutes-ish.
Okay, I've put another link. I put that video in. He explains the path of how he looks at the sunspots and how it doesn't fit what we usually get from the globe side. Because the one thing I will say is, if we had to make this debate like a debate, I would say if you did show the 24-hour sun, it looks more to me that you're showing a local sun that is reproduced on a flat Earth. But yeah, it's quite interesting. You might want to go. You see, he's showing how the sunspots are moving over a plane based on the equatorial plane that NASA puts up, and then he compares this to the footage taken in Antarctica, and then you see it has a total different type of ecliptic path. You're gonna see now. There we go. This is what the sun's supposed to show, just like they showed in that other NASA image. This is the ecliptic path it takes.
Nice and zoomed way out so you can't see squat for detail. He spent a lot of time on how much trouble he had trying to manage his own hardware. Oh yeah, never done it before. How many times have you been to Antarctica, Dave? Just the once?
Yeah, maybe
issues
Will
with
needs
your
to pay
mount.
for me to go back again.
No, I'm trying to get him to pay for me to go to space first.
But you had issues with your mount, though.
The only issue I had with the mount was trying to get the correct alignment. The mount itself was working fine. It was just that usually I align it to a celestial pole, and I couldn't see the celestial pole because it was broad daylight.
Yeah, because you say every 90 minutes or something you had to readjust it to make sure it's...
Yeah, so I'd got it near enough that as long as it's pointing directly south, it will keep the sun. It won't drift left or right. If I've got the elevation right, it won't drift up or down. nudging it left or right is pretty easy, but the elevation's a bit harder to accurately get. And it got to a point where I'd been going at it for that long, and I just thought, I don't want to be messing around with it anymore. That's close enough. There was a slight drift to it, but it was about, I think it probably would have took about 2 hours for it to drift from center out of frame. But I ended up just thinking that's close enough. I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with regards to the sunspots, I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, they do move. They're not in the same place, but
Yeah. No, it's the path that they move it that's the issue. Craig, you can't really see it, man.
Oh, right. So I'm showing it to the. Is that
that's
better?
all right. I've got your stream up as well, Craig, so I can see it on the big screen anyway.
Okay. Obviously, I'm also gonna have to go through and take what the path is and look if that's really how the path's taken. Oh, it's already passed.
Yeah.
Did you see what he was showing there, Craig?
Let me go back. Let's go on to the next video. I need to turn off autoplay.
It's close to the end. It's where he's showing the ecliptic path based on his photos. Around about there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, should be around there. See there. See how sporadic it is. So it's not showing how the ecliptic path would be taken if you compare it to the NASA photos of the sunspots.
But where are the NASA photos taken from would also be a big question, because if they're taken from the equator, then the observer's orientation to the sun's going to be different, and how long are they taken? What period of time are they taken over as well? You know, if it's over a period of a few days, few weeks, rather than just a 24-hour period, there's going to be some differences there. With regards to your point about you think it shows a local sun, I don't know if you've seen the video that I did, but I took photos, obviously 1,000+ photos of the sun in Antarctica, but also of it in Chile and in the UK, and it's the same size in all 3 locations.
Mm-hmm.
Which is obviously a bit of a problem for the idea of a local sun, because the size should be different.
Not really. It depends what distance the local sun is, though.
Well, between the UK to Chile to Antarctica, there's quite a big difference, I think.
Well, let's look at parallax for a minute. Like a mountain. Let's say a mountain that's 100 kilometers away.
Mm.
How far do you have to finally travel to finally have an angular size change to that mountain?
Not that far, relatively.
At least 50 kilometers.
Okay.
Okay, now that's a mountain that's 100 kilometers away. Now let's try a larger mountain, say Mount Everest, and
I think
700 kilometers away.
you'd travel less than 50 kilometers before you had parallax, or before you had an angular size change.
Yeah, but I'm saying visible size change, I would say. Not measurable,
but
visible.
Okay,
I'm just making a point. I'm just making a point. So it all depends on how far the sun would be. We're not able to really observe anything for a few thousand kilometers away on the ground because, yeah, we're kind of limited to the terrain. But if something's in the sky, like the sun or the moon, that's angular size, is being able to be observed, we don't really know the actual distance to that sun to be able to make a claim to say, okay, yeah, it's 93 million miles away or whatever. Because
Okay,
I don't think if something's, let's say, 3,000 kilometers away and you're able to see it, you'd really see any angular size change.
well, let me just double check from memory, because I can't remember what units I worked it out in, but the distance from... Why has that gone off? I think the distance from the UK to Antarctica is 10,000 miles-ish. I think that's what I'd worked it out at. Distance here. Yeah, about 15,000 kilometers, give or take.
Hmm.
And like I say, there's no angular size difference between the photos that I took in Antarctica to the photos that I took a week later back in the UK.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Is there any other points, any other issues, anything else that you think proves that
Have you
song
heard
was
of
fake?
the ghost steps before?
Oh God above. Yes, I've heard of the ghost steps. That is. I just don't think the Insta Studio app is really cut out for rendering 24 hours worth of video, because all it's done is drop the audio out of sync with the video.
Okay.
I ended up, so I did talk about it on one of the TFEs the other week, but in fact I'll bring it up for you so that you can see it. Where did I put it up? Will's video. Here we go.
2,100 watching, guys. Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much.
So this is the 50-odd segments, 51 segments of footage from Will's camera. They're all in 30-minute stints. So if you play any single one of them, the audios are all in time, but for some reason when I've rendered them all together into one big timeline, the footage drifts out of sync with each other. I ended up having to... I did the render of the full 24 hours, and then we realised that we couldn't upload 24 hours to YouTube, so I had to split it. So I took the 24-hour rendering and I split it into 3. So at that point, the audio was already out of sync, or was gradually going out of sync throughout the video. I realised the other day, part 3, for whatever reason, the last bit didn't render as a 360 video. It was just fixed looking one way, so I had to re-render it. And I've re-rendered it off the originals, and the start of the audio is in sync, and again it just drifts out throughout the video. So early on in part 3 is when MC Toon's walking around the cameras yelling at Nathan Oakley on the phone, and the audio's in sync. By the end of it, the audio's drifted back out of sync. It's just Insta360 is a shit piece of software.
And they make you use it, don't they? That's the annoying thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's why they make the Insta360 files sort of really only readable to its software, and yeah, it's utter garbage.
And then the other thing that also asking the whole time is, what did you guys do on the 18th?
We were back in Punta Arenas, so we were just pretty much... yeah, I mean, we didn't really have anything planned anyway. It was just, they told us we needed to stay a couple of days afterwards, just in case there was delays getting back. So I can't even remember exactly what I did apart from trying to sleep. Yeah, it was pretty much just a case of trying to relax and get my body clock back into some sort of order, because after the flight from the UK to Chile, I'd already screwed my head up to begin with, and then I didn't really get much sleep in Chile because I was up early getting sunrises, out late getting sunsets. I pretty much, and then star trails. I pretty much barely got any sleep in Chile, and then for the 3 days that we were in Antarctica, I totaled 7 hours of sleep. So yeah, I was pretty much out of it by that point.
Yeah.
Now, I guess Whitsit didn't have much problem sleeping because he was pissed all the time.
Well, they also claimed you guys were there earlier than them. Like some conspiracy that you guys planned to be earlier than them there. That when they got there, they only had time to like literally freshen up, eat, and then stream.
Again, utter shite. So, excuse me. The ALE had said, get there at least 2 days beforehand. So we were flying out on the 14th. That would be getting there...
The 12th then.
The 12th. And I think they actually got in on the 11th. I think they said 3 days. Get in 3 days beforehand, fly out 2 days afterwards. So the 11th was the original target date. Will had messaged me months ago, said I'm looking at flights, because obviously he was booking my flights along with Jaren and Austin's. So he said, I'm looking at some flights for you, and I actually asked him. I said, can you give me a call, because I just want to discuss these flights with you, because I'd had a look at some of them as well. And I said, what flight are you looking at booking me on? And the one he was looking at would have got me into Chile on the 11th, but it was flying from the UK to Brazil, then to Santiago, then to Punta Arenas, and doing the same leg back as well. It would have been 30 odd hours traveling. And I said, I've had a look. British Airways do a direct flight from Heathrow to Santiago. Cuts out one full stopover, layover. Can you book me onto that instead? Because one, just less connections on the way out. I don't want the sort of reduce the chances of luggage going missing if I've got all this camera gear with me. And then flying back, with it being close to Christmas, I was like, I don't want the risk of extra delays for getting home again. Can you book me onto that? And then he said, all right, I'll have a look at it. What I'd not spotted when I first suggested it is that BA only fly out every other day. So they could either get me there on the 10th or they'd get me there on the 13th. So he said, and then I said, oh, well, never mind, don't worry about it. And then he said, actually, no, I'll book you in for the 10th, it's fine. And then so he then said, he'll go out on the 10th as well, so that I'm not just stuck in Chile by myself. And then MC Toon and Critical Link were booking their own flights. So they ended up just booking theirs to match up with Will's. And Jonathan was flew out the same day as well. So when I arrived, Jonathan, Will, and MC Toon were already there. Then Critical Think turned up a few hours after me. Jaren, Austin, Lisbeth turned up the day after. Mark Herman didn't turn up until the day after that. He took the other British Airways flight 2 days later. So actually, in terms of this globe flat Earth conspiracy, it was two Globers and a flat Earther turned up first. Then Glober, flat Earther, flat Earther, flat Earther, Glober. So it was actually pretty staggered. There was no massive conspiracy. It was just Will, I think, had booked Jaren and Austin's flights on the original plan of getting there on the 11th, and then I threw a spanner in the works by being awkward and saying, could you book me onto a different flight because I want one less stopover.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. It's just a lot of things that they say that don't line up.
Well,
And
here's the thing with a lot of that, though.
your-
Witsit said stuff, and Flat Earthers don't trust Witsit, Globers don't trust Witsit, and there's a good reason for that. There's a cue as to when Witsit is telling a lie, his lips are moving.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm asking these specific questions, because there's a lot of things they say that just don't add up, and that's why we say we don't trust them.
Well, I mean, I get it. I kind of work on the theory that I know you guys were all going to be skeptical of everything anyway. Then you're taking information from Witsit, who seemingly cannot even remember half of what actually happened. He has his own twisted versions of events that is then going to feed into it. So I'm just like, I'm not here to argue. I'll just ask whatever questions you've got. I'll give you the answers.
Yeah.
Right. Is there any other specific points you want to bring up, Flatzoid, or do you think we should move over to some Q&A from the audience?
There was one other. I'm just trying to think what it was. I just forgot. It's fine. You can go to Q&A. If I do get it up, I'll
Yeah, no worries.
I would just say, side note, because I was looking at one of your streams before Flatzoid, I can't remember which one. You brought up a video rendering that someone had done about the argument of parallax, and there should have been parallax, and there was some camera
with Rory, with parallax with Rory. Yeah, we're saying you should see parallax, and we don't see parallax.
Yeah, I would say rewatch that rendering very carefully, because that is a very deceptive, lying render. The perspective from above, what it's showing, is different to what it does in first person. They move the cameras around.
Okay, I'll check.
All right, thanks very much, guys. That's actually been very respectful. Obviously, everyone in the chat is very confused. They're not sure what's going on. Some kind of Hadron Collider accident has obviously changed reality or something, because I'm not screaming at people. Flatzoid's asking what seems to be sensible questions. It's been quite strange, actually. One quick question for you, Flatzoid, from me is, if the opportunity came up to go again, would you do it now to check?
I don't know. I think it will be based later on. Like I said, it doesn't really bother me whether there's a sun or not. I have to gather evidence to make sure that there is really a sun. And I appreciate Dave McKeegan for doing this because he's given me more information in this last hour chat than I've got through all the weeks we've got because of all the dishonest stuff we had to go through. So yeah, thank you. It's all I can really say about it.
I've enjoyed it as well. Icy Spin 199 says, I vote we only discuss Vapegate, turn over all rocks. Yeah, the whole Witsit vaping thing is stupid, and Flatzoid was completely right that he did vape. Dave has proven that with his things, and I mean, I've given my opinion on why I think he did it. Well, Dave, why do you think he did it?
I don't know. There just seemed to be. I'm not convinced that he genuinely walked out of that hut with a vape in hand thinking, I'm going to go and fake my breath. I don't think he actually did that. I think he regularly was just sort of popping on the vape. I think a few times throughout the video I just saw him occasionally sort of having little goes on the vape. So I don't know if it was just partly his ego thinking he's had so many people badgering him about where's his breath, that when he then got back on camera and the last bit of vape came out, because he definitely threw most of it out before he got back on camera.
I mean, it would have moistened his lung a bit as well.
So I don't know if he's just seen a bit and then thought, like, oh yeah, there's some vape, not actually bothering to think, there's some breath, not actually bothering to think it wasn't his breath, it was vape. But why he then carried on doubling down on it afterwards is beyond me.
Well, you see, that's where I have a different take on it, because if you look at it, you can see he had to make an excuse to go fetch his gloves to pick up the snow, and that's when he went in to get his vape. His first argument was, no, I went to drink water, that's why you could see my breath, it wasn't a vape. Then when I confronted him about it, then it was, no, he found a vape, he didn't vape, he used to vape, and he decided to vape, but he guarantees me he didn't vape on the way to the computer and fake his breath, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I saw that.
But if you see him go to the computer, you can see it's someone that literally, he didn't talk when he just took the black screen away. He literally just exhaled his breath like he was holding his breath to exhale. And that's why to me it looks like he did it on purpose.
I don't know, it's hard to tell on it's hard to tell on the time-lapse one, but when you rewatch the live, the real-time one from Will, you do see, like, I mean, he takes he blows one load of smoke out on the walk over, so he's obviously, like, why would he be bothering vaping there? But then as he's getting back to the camera, you see a huge cloud come out before he gets back onto camera, and then when he gets back on camera, it's just a little bit that comes out. So I think his argument, like, his stance seemed to be, firstly, he was taking issue with you about the claim that he was kneeling down beforehand, which that was afterwards.
Yeah.
But it just seemed to be, that bit was a lie. So, that bit was a lie, but what about the rest of it? And then it seems to be he gets very picky on wording. So it's almost like because you were saying he intentionally vaped before going back on, he was saying he didn't intentionally vape. He wouldn't say he vaped before he went back on camera and that it was an accident. So I don't know. It just seemed to be very much semantics, that whole thing.
Well, let's face it, Witsit's so stupid that... Yeah, Witsit is so stupid that he thought he could hide vaping from, let's face it, his wife, whilst there was several 24-hour cameras recording him that would be posted online. Look, right, if you want to vape, then your wife's got no right to tell you not to. But if you're going to vape, tell her about it, because you can't base a marriage on lies like that, Witsit.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. All he had to do was, I think everybody agree, just admit, okay, guys, I was under pressure. I tried to, I was sick of everybody banging on about it, so I did this, and I'm sorry. But he didn't do that. Instead, he did what dishonest people did and just carried on doubling down.
Yeah.
But I remember what I wanted to ask now. Why didn't they retry after the failed 24-hour stream? Why didn't they retry do it? Do you know why?
So the stream packed in the early hours of the morning. And I think it had been, I don't know if there was multiple issues, it had been bouncing back and forth. And then Mark Herman didn't have I don't know, facility authority or whatever to restart a stream, it had to come from somebody else back in the UK. But I think by that point, it was the early hours on Sunday morning. So he couldn't, they just, for whatever reason, couldn't get it up until way later. And I think by that point, they kind of figured there's no point, given the fact that flat earthers will just say there was several hours of gap between hand, the sun probably set there, because they often bring up, before we went, there's no live streams of the 24-hour sun going all the way around, there's always a cut. So I think by that point it was just a case of it's wasted, and they were using Will's phone. I don't think he was too pleased about having to give up his phone to do the live stream in the first place, which came about because Mark Herman had took a 360 to do a live stream, not realizing you need a cell connection to live stream with the 360.
Okay.
But obviously we couldn't get a cell connection there because there's no towers. So Will ended up having to use his phone for it. So I think by the time it then packed in, they just went, it's not going to achieve anything anyway, and I'd like my phone back.
Yeah. Will kind of needed his phone. You know, pretty much everyone in the world was trying to get hold of him. So
yeah, including Steve.
Yeah. So, and also a big reason for what I've been told, Flatzoid, is the fact that Will's phone did a forced update because of Android, and then Starlink did a forced update, which, trust me, it does it all the fucking time. It's so annoying. So there was a bunch of interruptions to the stream. They couldn't get it started again, and it was kind of like, it's not a 24-hour stream anymore. It's kind of pointless to do it. It sucks, but it is what it is.
The stream did actually record the sun going behind kind of over Mount Rossman, which is south anyway, which is, if the sun was going to set in Antarctica, is where it would have been. So really, even though the stream didn't run for 24 hours, it picked the most important part of it up. And kind of that ties to another point that I brought up with Steve as well, which is that we did numerous live streams throughout the day. If you actually look at the various live streams, the sun is in most directions of the sky throughout those streams and is nowhere near the ground.
Okay, it's a Rubik's $2 says. Sorry, go on.
So what's the bottom of the line? What's the bottom of the line? Duffy, get an iPhone, man.
Ew, gross. It's a Rubik's $2 says contractually obligated donation from NASA. Thank you. Pat Booth became a member. J-Bone 279 Canadian says Flatzoid is 24-hour sun, Antarctica perfect on a globe. Does it match the globe predictions?
Yeah, it's never been that it doesn't match the globe predictions.
Oh, Witsit saying it doesn't match the globe predictions.
But it doesn't debunk the flat Earth either, so that's why it's false dichotomy.
It debunks the AE map though, right? As the flat Earth.
Yeah, the AE map's just a map.
Yeah, cool. CJ Lamricks gifted 5 fuck you Ashtons because for some reason Ashton, even though he's able to get memberships, YouTube hates him, and everyone that gives a membership misses Ashton. CJ Lamricks says, Dave, make Flats cry for us. This was a strange stream. There was no shouting. Oh my goodness me, I've just noticed that there's 2,250 people watching. You guys rock. Jay says, Tiger, Anthony Wilson, £1 with their super chat popping cherry. Thank you. Jay says, Tiger, $5 says, Flat Earth is like Scientology. Someone escapes the cult and they are all of a sudden excommunicated. Yeah, Flatzoid, you said that the Flat Earthers that went there have been excommunicated. What did you mean by that?
They excommunicated all Flat Earthers about 2 years ago.
They did?
Yes. That's why they call true Earthers.
Oh, you mean Jeranism and Witsit?
Witsit and Jeren. That's why they've been labeling themselves as true Earthers. They excommunicate. And Witsit even came personally onto my stream about 1.5 years ago and excommunicated us all.
Yes, I know. I did cover that one because I thought that was stupid. But I thought that came from Oakley. I remember Oakley saying that. But yeah, it's a stupid. And frankly, that shows that there is cult mentality within the Flat Earth because that's the only thing you can get excommunicated from.
No, true Earthers are not Flat Earthers. There's the difference.
I mean, they'll think the Earth is flat, but that's a different argument. Vincent Rue for €2 says, the Earth is flat. Trust me, bro. And Alejo Vallejo for 50 MX says, I'd love to see Dave in a debate. I would say you should try bringing a worthier opponent, but let's be real. No flat earther is close to an opponent. Flatzoid, you understand some of these are going to be insulting towards you, don't you? It's just how it is. I apologise.
I've got used to the bigotry from the Globe side. So
hey, come on. I think you can admit there's plenty of it on both sides. Like today, I've had about 27 emails from Santos Bonacci saying he was going to kill me and that my mother is a cunt.
Wow.
Yeah. B-Day Short.
To be fair, Flatzoid, I noticed in the chat build up to your own stream, somebody said that I'd be what did they word it? Somebody you wouldn't want to invite to a party, which I thought was rather nice.
Dave was pretty good when he came to my house. Didn't smell too bad, I guess. I
scrubbed up special.
Yeah. B-Day Short 499 says, "This is my first time seeing Dave debate. Will be super fun to watch while I build my Lego Apollo rover. You fucking nerd." Thank you for your first super chat. Pop in your cherry. Brenda Crates, member for 21 months, says, "Ask Flatzoid what the sun is." Flatzoid, what is the sun?
I have no idea, and I don't make a claim to know.
Any guesses?
It's a light in the sky, as the Bible says.
Okay. I'd like you to read a scientific study from the 60s. I'm going to send that to you. It's an interesting one. CJ Lurix gifted 5 fuck you Ashtons. Mr. Toffees for £2 says, "FTFE, make sure you punch Witsit for us. I have promised my wife and James that I will not punch Witsit."
Didn't say kick though, did you?
I've only got one leg that works. That's going to be hard.
Just you want him to just tell him Flatzoid says hello.
Yeah. My plan is to... I don't want to cause an issue. Obviously, James puts a lot of effort into doing these, and I don't want him to get banned from hotels or anything. I do plan to confront Witzer and ask him about the lies he tells and the things that he says about the globe and record it. If he says, "Go away, leave me alone," I will respect that, but only because James has asked me to. But I do intend to confront him. He said recently, or he said yesterday, day before in Jaren's chat, "Oh, no one would talk to me like they do online to my face. Not even Toon did." Well, Witsit, you're going to meet me in 30 days. I certainly will. Dihydrogen monoxide for £2 says, "If Craig was in Antarctica, it would have been Weedgate." Nah, I wasn't the one that smoked weed down there. Good boy, Jaren. JSS Tiger, $5. Flatzoid, why did Jaren and Witsit agree to the fakery?
Because I've been saying, called this out ages ago. Jaren's going to use TFE as his out, which he clearly did. Witsit just got dragged into this thing, and now he's stuck in a dishonest loop.
Do you think Witsit regrets going?
Yes.
What about you, Dave?
It's totally taken any validity he has away. I mean, a lot of his subscribers that used to subscribe to him wants nothing to do with him anymore because of his dishonesty.
I agree. Dave, what do you think? Do you think Witsit regrets going?
Yeah, I suspect so.
I mean, I certainly would. Let's face it, he's gone down there, he's been exposed to his wife as vaping when he promised he doesn't, he's been caught lying to everybody. It was clear that he did bugger all when he was there and was just kind of wandering around getting drunk and shouting at people on Discord. He was pointless being there.
To be fair, he wasn't drinking in Antarctica. It was in Chile at the meals he was mainly drinking, I think. I don't think they actually had any alcohol there. In Antarctica.
It's just me, but if I was about to spend a couple of days...
yellow snow, so you don't know.
For me, if I was about to spend a couple of days in the worst desert in the world, I probably wouldn't have alcohol before, but that's just me. Mouth Breather, $5 says, "So Flatzoid's argument is it's fake because I need it to be?" Flatzoid?
No, remember, the sun being there 24 hours doesn't change whether it's flat or not. I'm just simply seeing the red flags and why I think it's faked. But like I said, I appreciate tonight because I can review it now with a bit more of, how can I say it, more of intent of saying, okay, yeah, it does seem more plausible. You understand?
Yeah, 2,300 watching, amazing. Has anything Dave said to you today got rid of any of those red flags?
Yeah. They've got me. It's given me some more questions though, but a lot of the things have enlightened me to some things. So I do appreciate it.
Is there anything that you'd like to ask Dave as a clarification?
No, that's fine. We'll get there.
Dora Naku, €2 says, everything is fake because it has to be. That's the flat earther mantra, yes. CJ Lamricks gifted 5 more fuck you Ashtons, thank you. That's 30 memberships and not one of them to Ashton. Mr. Toffees for £5 says, I made a point of sending Dave a super chat about Liverpool FC about being shit just to make sure it was live, and his reply was spot on.
Did I tell him to fuck off?
Probably, yeah. I think I remember watching that. Oh, and of course the page crashes. Do you guys ever get this when you're streaming, that the live streaming page, the tab just crashes randomly?
I've only streamed once.
And that was from Antarctica, yeah. Oh my goodness, guys, thank you for all the super chats. Yes, I will be doing an after show because you smashed the target, you amazing people. Okay, read that one. Design Song 1 for $5 says, disprove my hypothetical faking. Ha! It was a decoy. So now you admit faking it is possible. He thinks that your arguments are lame, Flatzoid. What do you say?
Well, I don't care what he thinks, to be honest.
You guess you have to. Mouth Breather for $5 says, Flatzoid, would you have been as skeptical of this trip if the results supported your worldview? So if they come back and there was like, oh no, there's no 24-hour sun, would you have been as skeptical?
Yes. Yes, because again, it's not about the sun, it's about the red flags we've been seeing with all the deception and stuff.
Do you think you'd be looking as hard for the red flags if it came back and showed something the Flat Earth confirmed?
Yes.
Well,
I
guys,
look at this way from anybody, by the way, on any side. Anybody that knows me, I don't give a shit if you're a flat earther, a globe earther, a concave earther. I look as much as I can. I'm skeptic about everything.
Well, guys, got your own opinions about that? Have a chat in the comments. Beanie Beeman for $2 says, by Flatzoid's logic, any evidence can be refuted.
Yes. If the evidence isn't sustainable, it's refutable.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but refuting it is different. Valentin Damnyov for £4.99 says, Dave, how do you feel debating the very same person who mimicked your presentation?
I liked his presentation.
Well, there we go.
You look confused, Flats. I think it was when you had that little toy sheep and you tried mimicking. You did a video that was you sat with a little toy sheep in place of Rusty, and you mimicked me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm glad you liked it. I didn't have my dog, so I couldn't do that.
Hello to Veritas in the chat. Again, absolutely incredible creator, guys. If you haven't seen his 8-hour documentary about Flat Earth, I highly advise you to watch it. Plus, his 4-hour documentary about Billy Mitchell was also a bloody good watch. The great Shamalama Ding Dong, member for 10 months, says, Unreal Engine, I just can't. And I think they then died. Do you really think that Unreal Engine could do that with like the 24-hour videos that they've got, Flats?
Yeah, just takes people a long time to edit it and process.
I think the issue, or an issue I would raise with the Unreal Engine idea of Flats, is that might work hypothetically for footage that we published afterwards, but that wouldn't work for the live streams that we did while we were there. And the first time lapse that I published before we'd left Antarctica. So for us to shoot the footage, for us to go to Antarctica with the Unreal Engine sky, shoot the footage and then render it, would need computers that would probably have taken up most of our bleeding luggage, and quite a bit of time to do it. I mean, it took my computer close to 48 hours just to render up those 51 files that I showed you before of Will's time lapse, and the live streams were going out live. So obviously that would have had to have been real time Unreal rendering.
Look, with the live streams, we couldn't see the sun all the time for 24 hours because, I mean, you're only doing a live stream for, let's say, half an hour to an hour. So you can't really say a live stream's going to show it going down or whatever.
But that's what I was saying about the live streams, is that the live streams, if you look at them, Will did his midnight live stream, the sun was to the right of Mount Rossman. Toon did one at solar midnight, the sun was more towards the left of it. I know when the drone video went out, the sun was more off to the north. When I did my live stream, it was off to the west. and I'm pretty sure the other live streams, Critical Think, Jaren, whoever else was live streaming, the sun would have been in various different points of the sky throughout those live streams. So either those live streams are real and the sun is in all those different places in the sky, or they've had to have been rendered in real time, which wouldn't have been possible on any of the computers that we were using.
I agree. Like I said, it was just an idea I had.
No, I know. That's why I'm just, if rather than, I think rather than sitting in, collectively in talking to other flat earthers, throwing out all these ideas of people who are just going to kind of go along with them, I'll give you whatever information you need. So
thank you. That's why I said I was happy we could have this discussion, because it is definitely clearing up a lot of things that people are asking. So
that's what Dave's good at. Otto for $2 says, respectfully, in a nice voice, Flatzoid is a moron. Well, we're all entitled to our opinions.
Thank you. Thank
Bruce, $5 Canadian says, fuck Zoid. You can go to Antarctica to debunk the 24-hour sun yourself. Do you have any plans to do so? You know your own research.
There's nothing to debunk. Again, the sun being there 24 hours doesn't change whether the Earth is flat or not. It doesn't ignore that the Earth is stationary in closed plane.
Just the Messenger 199 says, Flatzoid, do you need some straws? You seem to be grasping at them.
No, I'm asking questions which people have been asking so we can get answers. That's all.
Yeah. Artful Dodger, $5. Cat's managed to construct a pretty compelling Flerf model in one of his new videos. It does make you think, Craig. Cat's that bloomin' shill. We know he's been a plant by the Flat Earth all along. Right. Cat's is actually Flat's brother. You never knew that. I mean, look at them. They're exactly the same. DJ Most for €2 says, for Flatzoid, is Mr. Mute Button also part of the hoax? I think he means Oakley.
No, I don't think Oakley had anything to do with the TFE.
This isn't in the chat, but a lot of people have been asking me, have you any idea why Nathan Oakley seems to have aged 14 years in the past 6 months?
Age, maybe, I don't know. Could be a lot of things.
I mean, he's younger than me.
Maybe nutrition. Maybe it's nutrition. I don't know.
I mean, there's something wrong with the guy. Oh my god. It's like I've de-aged myself by getting healthy, and it's like what I lost has gone to him. CJ Lamericks for $6.66. Hail Sagan. Hey Flats, where do you think they really went?
To Antarctica.
So you don't hold the position anymore that you think that they were duped into going somewhere else?
No, that's what I said. Some places it seems that they could have gone somewhere else, but they definitely did go to Antarctica to do what they did.
Greg Kotzman for 8 months says the Flat Earth debunking team is strong as fuck. Yeah, we're doing quite well at the moment, so it's fun. Second best Bob for £2 says, Flatzoid, why am I blocked on your channel?
Second best Bob, probably trolled, I don't know.
Well, there you go, Bob. Greg Kotz, $2.99. Flatzoid, how can you deny a South Celestial pole? Are you playing dumb?
Never denied a South Celestial pole. It just said there is no actual South Celestial pole. They gave it to Cygnus Octantis because that is the most, observed point where things rotate in the south.
There is a South Celestial pole, but it's just a point that's devoid of any stars, right? You know, if we were going to choose the exact point that it is.
I think the question would be, Flats, because we saw the stars rotate around the South Celestial pole looking directly south from Chile. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming you see the same thing.
Well, yes.
You see the same thing looking directly south from South Africa, and people in Australia see the same thing looking directly south from there. So obviously all works in the north because everyone's looking north towards the same point in the sky. So you need to work out some way of, on a flat surface, how all the different locations looking outwards from each other can all see the same celestial pole.
Well, you don't look directly south-south. You can look a bit southeast or southwest to look at us. Depends on your location. And it's also different times. You don't look at the same time in the same direction.
No, but you see the same stars.
Yeah, you see the same stars, but that doesn't mean that everybody looks directly south. Some people look a bit southeast, some people look a bit southwest, and it's at different times at different locations.
No, we were definitely looking directly south, and I'm pretty sure you look directly south.
Where I stay now in the bush, when I look at the Southern Cross, it's in a different kind of. If I have to look to the south point of the Southern Cross, I look more southwest now than compared to where I used to live deeper down south. So it depends literally on your location on do you look more southeast or more southwest. But you're looking south, but it's based on your location and time.
But if you were on several different points on the same latitude, you would all just look exactly south and see the same thing.
No one looks just directly south.
What do you mean?
There's no just directly south. You're looking a bit southeast or a bit southwest to get to look at that point.
Well, I aim my camera directly south because I'd set up my EQ mount the day or during the day to give it a test run. So I had to work out exactly where south was. So I know, looking from the pier in Punta Arenas, where the mountains are, they create a gap where the estuary runs out. The edge of those mountains was south. That was where I just went out and pointed my camera towards, and the South Celestial Pole was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from Punta Arenas we were.
Yeah. So the South Celestial Pole was directly south from my location, but Australia...
Yeah, now come to South Africa and try the same.
But on the same latitude, you would. Anywhere on the same latitude would be able to look directly south and see exactly the same stars, right?
There's another test people can do.
Okay. Wow. K. Gundy Furnace for £2 says, Apricity, feeling the sun's warmth when it's cold. Yeah, that's why Jaren could burn paper with the magnifying glass, because the sun was still doing what the sun does. Aaron799 says, Flatzoid, you're South Africans. How do you explain the Southern Celestial Pole? Please be the first to explain it. Craig, dry herb vapes are the best. Yeah, I'm fucking loving my dry herb vape. Thank you very much, Rachbot, for the suggestion. Yeah, Flats, how do you explain the Southern Celestial Pole if the Earth is flat?
It's the stars that move in the firmament.
And what, they're just doing random circles, different sides?
They take a circuit.
Okay.
What must I explain? It just takes a circuit.
MTUK for £10, thank you very much. Why did so many legitimate flat earthers turn it down? Did they also have a typo in their emails? Sorry, you guys had your arguments ready before anyone showed evidence. Oops, I made a claim. True, though, cope. Yes, the question there is, why do you think so many flat earthers turned down the trip, Flatzoid? Like Eric Dubay, Mark Sargent, they were asked directly and have all said that there's no sun. So why do you think they turned it down?
Well, I can't divine their motives, but for me, it's simply I don't find it worth my time to go there. As I said, it doesn't prove anything, and I would rather spend the time with my family.
Fair enough.
It does seem slightly suspicious, though, Flatzoid, to be fair, because I think flat earthers have managed to spend more time since we published the videos. Flat earthers seem to have spent more time trying to refute all of the videos than we actually spent there capturing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's what I said. That's what we are. We have to be skeptical and go through everything. We're fine combing everything and going through it. That's why there's so much videos coming out.
Oh, I know. What I mean is that, rather than trying to go through videos with a fine-tooth comb and trying to find any tiny little anomalies that don't make sense, it probably would have been far more conclusive for you to go there and see it with your own eyes. But
well, let's put it this way. Do you think I still wouldn't have called Whitsett out on his deception and Duffy on his deception if I went and still saw the sun?
No, but we wouldn't be having this conversation now with you trying to ascertain as to whether we actually captured a 24-hour sun or whether we made two completely separate trips to Antarctica to try and fake it all. You wouldn't have that skepticism right now. It would be a case of you'd be sitting there going, yeah, there was a 24-hour sun. We saw a 24-hour sun. Now we need to work out how to explain that on Flat Earth, because at the moment, I'm seeing very few Flat Earthers who are actually going with the approach of, okay, let's work out how it works on a flat Earth. They all seem to be prioritizing, let's find out how they faked it, because it must be faked.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think when it boils down to finding, okay, if it does really come out that everybody settled down and say, okay, we accept now you guys brought the 24-hour sun. That's when everybody will think, okay, let's work on it now. But for now, the thing is, look at this, what's going on, look at this not going on, it's not making sense, and all the deception's not making sense. So why do we have to trust anything coming from it because of the deception? So once that does eventually go over, and if someone does say, okay, yeah, I see it's the 24-hour sun, then it will go on to let's do something about it. But you also have to understand, nobody all has the same, how can I say, talent to be able to create a model for something to explain. We're not all inclined to be able to create a model for something. So it's difficult as well. You need someone.
I'm not suggesting that you do, but I mean, collectively amongst flat earthers, everyone's got their own. I mean, you're bringing up videos from flat earthers who are producing 3D animation renders of things. So those people have the ability of creating renders. Some of you have the imagination to be able to say, what about this? What about that? All I'm saying is, like, I know you can't speak for the whole of the flat earth community, but I'm curious about you personally, because obviously you now seem to be heavily going down the I think it's faked, even though you weren't there to see it. You had opportunities to come along. You could have done like MC Toon and Critical Think. You could have tried to at least crowdsource it, show willing, even if whether that would work or not. There was the golden ticket offer that wasn't Will paying for somebody. It was a completely separate funding. You didn't even put your name in for that.
Yeah, well, like I said, first of all, I don't like McToon at all. Everybody knows that. So I wouldn't be able to get along with McToon on that. I would feel too awkward to sit there with McToon.
Oh, don't worry, Jaren and Austin were struggling with that as well. But what all of that was before he'd come out as.
Yeah. But like I was saying, so I'm talking about my experience. So I wouldn't anyway want to give up my holiday that's already been paid for with my family and planned a year in advance.
Oh, well, okay. Well, no, that's fair enough. Yeah. I didn't know that you'd had a holiday booked.
Yeah, and a year in advance to go and do this. So. And it's also because, like I said, it doesn't matter to me if there's a 24-hour sun or not. It's not going to change whether the Earth is flat. So it would just literally be me being in an awkward position with someone I don't really like at all to freeze my tits off and miss my family for no reason. So, and I would have to take off work on the busiest time of the year before I have to go there, which is a bit impossible in my line. So
okay,
yeah, it makes it difficult.
Would you go on with me?
For me, it just seemed to be all flat earthers just seem to steer pretty much completely away from it. When kind of for me, if you kind of a truth seeker, go and seek the truth. There's flat earthers who spent money going up to the north to go and film stuff and trips here, there, and everywhere to try and prove it. And Antarctica's sort of one that's been a major talking point for years. It would have been. It would have been pretty conclusive to go and see it with your own eyes and say once and for all, yeah, there is a 24-hour sun. So how does that fit with our worldview? Because obviously your impression of the world before that with the AE map is completely wrong.
Yeah, but that's why I've always never pushed the AE map. I've made it very clear that this is why Jaren and them had the issue they do, because they were pushing their AE map as like a model. And we've made it very clear. Every map has their own function. AE map has its own function, but a model, I don't ascribe to any model. If I had to say a model is the Hebrew cosmology, but that also doesn't describe everything you need to know. So I think it differs from flat earther to flat earther with everything as well. I think the ones that are struggling the most are the ones that have been pushing the AE map as the flat earth model.
Which
I think
Darren definitely did, yeah.
They were dragged into this hole, and now they're stuck to try and defend their AE map as the model after years of telling, hey, listen, yeah, it's just a map.
So
yeah, but a map is a. Oh, go on, Craig.
Sorry, I was just going to ask if it was me and Dave rather than Toon and Dave, would that have changed your mind? Or can you not stand me either?
Probably. Look, I think I would rather have more fun with you guys than Toon. Let's put it that way.
I can't wait to meet Toon one day. All right. Max M, $5 says, Dave, is it true Whitsitt was drinking in Chile and Antarctica?
No. Well, I didn't see him drink in Antarctica. I don't think there was any alcohol, or there might have been a bit in the food tent. We went out for meals most nights. The few nights we were in Chile, we generally went out together as a group for meals. And, there'd be like a bottle of wine. But, I was at another end of the table from Austin just so I could keep the fucking volume from him as low as possible so I didn't have to listen to him. So I wasn't paying too much attention as to what was going down his throat.
Lisa499 says, who lies more, Flatzoid or Witsit? Well, in my experience, Witsit has lied every time we have ever spoke to each other. Whereas Keith told me that I'm good looking, so, and that's not a lie. I mean, come on, look at me. Yeah, it was arm day today, so, I was really excited the other day. I got my first vein on my arm. I was like, what? Not seen that before. Yes, Joe, read my name. Read it. Yes, louder. Yes. For 2CHF says, this is going to be one hell of a rewind tomorrow. Thank you. Martin Smith, pop in their super chat cherry, £4.99. Flatzoid, I thought you were trying to persuade us that Antarctic sun was faked. Why are you fussing about boots and t-shirts?
It was just a question because people are wondering what's with all the symbolism.
Do you think it's just people seeing symbolism where there isn't any?
No, I think there's a lot of coincidence to it, which is odd.
Well, I'll put it this way. I don't know. Most of the things that I now know as symbolism of Masonic rituals, I only know about it now since that people have been pointing out, this is Masonic and that's Masonic, because I've not wasted any time looking at any of it.
Right, the Turtle Moves for £2 says, for Flatzoid, why does it matter to Flat Earth if Witsit vaped?
Because he was being deceptive and he was supposedly a spokesperson for us. So we have to call him out for his deception. It's as simple as that. But like I said, if he just admitted to it in the beginning, it would have been that. Fine. And move on. But he painted a target on himself with neon arrows saying, yeah, just carry on. You know what I mean? So he did it to himself.
Flats Veritas in chat says, why did you lie about me half a dozen times in the space of 1 week?
I didn't lie about Veritas.
Fight. MTUK £5 says, oh wait, one before I go on, deception. Flatzoid, what's your thoughts on Will's sermon clip that's going around?
We actually went through it last night again. We didn't go through the whole thing, but he is trying. It looks to us as if he's trying to use the deception sermon as almost like a failback to say it's okay to be deceptive. So if it does come out he's being deceptive, he can just say, yeah, but I did it for the greater good kind of thing.
No, I mean, that is literally just saying that there is circumstances where the moral thing to do would be to be deceptive, right? And
No.
and do you not agree with that?
There's a difference between deceptive and just, protecting someone.
Well, I mean, but if to protect that person you have to be deceptive, that's still being deceptive, right? A murderer turns up at your door and says, I want to kill your wife. Where is she? You're not going to go, well, she's in the bedroom, go and have fun. You're going to go, I've no idea, I haven't seen her for a week or something, right?
That's not deception. But that's not deception.
I mean, it is. You're still lying. You're still saying something that isn't true, right?
You intend to harm. It was with deception. So
I don't think deception is just through the intent to harm.
If you're saying these people are not here because you're going to murder them, you're protecting. That's not deceiving.
I mean, it still is deceiving the person that wants to kill them, even if it's deceiving for good reasons.
Will they kill you as well? They'll probably kill you as well for hiding them, correct?
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that you have told them a untruth.
Well, let's put it this way. Yes, you probably lied, okay? But what will God look at? He looks at the intent of your heart. So he goes and says, okay, you did this to protect the people. You didn't do it to deceive anyone. You understand?
Well, you did do it to deceive someone. You did it to deceive the person trying to kill everyone, right?
No.
Okay, we'll have to have a bigger conversation.
I don't agree with that. You did it to protect the people.
MTUK £5 says, blah, blah, everything is fake. That's all we get from these lot now. They need to see it, yet they refuse to go and call it irrelevant. What is the point? Do you agree that Flatzoid, the flat earther, is just nut at everything?
No, I don't agree.
Okay. Eddie Reese, $2 says, Dave is being so patient. Dave, you're a good guy. Yeah. Can you teach me your secrets? Like, is there some kind of meditation ritual you go through, or are you heavily medicated? Is your sensei a Vulcan? One, I'm not sure, but I need these tips. Raft for $4.99 says the faces in Dave and McToon looking younger and fatter could be two separate cameras with lenses of different focal lengths. Flats.
I did say that, did I not?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
They probably sent that beforehand. Jiffy Cones, $5. Keith, why didn't you include your email in your channel description until after the Antarctica trip and MC Toon brought it up to you?
Because it was on, and then my channel got hacked, and I forgot to put it on again. And when McToon pointed out it wasn't on there, I put it on in case someone needed it in future.
But you put it on wrong, though, didn't you?
No, that wasn't me.
What? You didn't put Flatzoid instead of Flatzoid? But that's what appeared afterwards. I'm confused.
I didn't put Flatzoid. I even showed I could change McToon's bio live. I even changed Duffy's bio live, so...
Flats, just is there any, just while Craig's been rambling on with the super chats for a while, is there any more questions that have been popping up on your side or anything that...
got one.
Okay.
Where's this? It says, when is anyone on TFE going to sign an affidavit with notary public as witness they seen a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, so it can be matter of public record?
Well, I've got no issue signing whatever to say I saw a 24-hour sun, but I doubt even signing an affidavit is going to let flat earthers believe that it actually happened.
I mean, an affidavit, David, is a legal thing, and there's no case against him to be able to have to sign something like that. So, I mean...
I was going to say, I've got no issues with standing up in court, but it seems like a waste of the court's time.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Flat Earther to take me to court. Several have tried. Adam R, 2 Canadian, with their third super chat on the channel, says, super low humidity, Dave. Was that a reason the sky was so blue?
Could well be. It was pretty high altitude and pretty low humidity up there, so...
So, Fuckazoid, €2, says, Flatzoid, what is the conclusion then? Fake or not?
In between.
But you have had some red flags. Dave has answered some things for you, which is good, right?
Yeah,
cool.
And I appreciate it, like I said.
And please, if there's any other questions from your side, feel free to ask Dave whilst we're going through this. Artful Dodger, $2, says, for the final KO, bring up the email typo. Well, Flatzoid says he didn't do that. The Drunk Debunk Show, $4.99, says, dang, I'm late to the derp session. Hope you're all well. Thank you very much, Drunk Debunk Show, guys. You should go and subscribe to him. Fletcher Boy, $4.99, lines of motion. Huh? Do you agree with that lines of motion stuff on the Sun, Flatzoid, or is that just something you've seen?
That's just something I brought up that I saw today. I said I have to still go look through it myself and make sure that that's really, like I said, I'm skeptic with everything I see. So I'll have to look through it myself and see if that's really, if he really used all 1,225 whatever shots and lined them up to make that distinction.
I can add to that now, Flatzoid, and tell you there's actually, if you go and look in the Google Drive folder, there's more photos that aren't in the time lapse because I'd messed up. If you the shots ran the shots that I gave Toon, the sequential numbering stopped at 9999. I'd completely overlooked when I sent them to Toon. Once my camera reaches 99999, it starts back at 001, but it moves them into a new folder. So there's about 130 photos extra that I didn't put in the time lapse to Toon that I've uploaded to the Google Drive since. I've spoke to Toon and asked him. I've sent the extras to him. That I'm going to get him to add to redo it, and I'm going to put a video out to correct it. But you can actually see the sun drift out of frame.
Okay.
So yeah, there's actually more than the 1200 that I'd put in the time lapse originally, and the 3 that are at the start, I realised I thought I took them when we first arrived at halfway point, and I was setting up. They weren't. I took them at Union Glacier Camp when we first arrived there in the first place. And then there's about a 3-hour gap, which was where we were doing the tour around the camp, waiting for our luggage to arrive, and then they took us up there, and then I started setting up.
Okay. Cool, I'll wait for that then. But like I said, I'm definitely going to check through it myself. It's just something I saw them bring up.
Yeah, I just thought I'd point out there's actually more photos in the Google Drive now than there are on the time-lapse, because I'd messed up and not sent them all to Toon in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa499 says, Flatzoid, how did they fake simulations, live streams, walking around showing 360-degree view, and can you prove that you aren't fake?
No comment.
Dave, can you prove you're not fake?
I was going to say I could slap myself, but no, you can fuck off.
Now you've got to do it. I think both of you need to slap yourselves.
I was close to it, and then I thought, no.
Derek the Dullard Man for 19 months says, hey Craig and Dave, I suppose hello to Keith too. Equal opportunities and all that. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Derek, thank you. J Bird Max, member for 18 months, says, Flatzoid having everything is fake on his mind so prevalent. His brain MRI shows a fake brain. We already knew that though, didn't we? That's just insults, so we don't need to get them to answer that. Mr. Toffees for £2 says, if Flats was invited to a space trip, would he go?
Depends what space you're talking about.
Well, if you've got a chance to go on, say, Jeff Bezos' penis ship to go up nice and high and see the curve, would you?
It depends. It'll be a nice little roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to get into a big penis, to be honest. Alejandro Vallejo 50MX says, Man of Stone, he is the same clown that doesn't understand the difference between force, acceleration, and displacement. Oh, digging at you there, Flatzoid. Any thoughts?
Yeah, the guy doesn't understand relative density theorem, so he projects it onto me.
CJ Lamrick's gifted one, fuck you, Ashton. Stephen Jarvis, £5. Could you ask Keith if there's any questions that Dave didn't answer to satisfy his doubts? And if there is, could please Dave verify them now?
None that I can think of right now, because it's 1 a.m. in the morning.
Just going to try and get through these super chats for you so you can get away. Lord Luminous Pooh for $2 says, Flatzoid, don't run and don't nutter. Where is Voyager?
Voyager's at where it sits at the moment. I don't know. How do I know?
I'm pretty sure it got lost in the Delta Quadrant after the caretaker pulled it through.
Definitely not in space, though, because it violates natural law, so...
No, it doesn't. Lord Luminous Pooh, $2 says, 2,000 watching, but 400 likes. Fix that, yo. There's like 700 likes now, but yeah, thank you very much, guys. Aaron, $2.99, Flatzoid, why are sky flares visible further than hand flares? What?
Huh?
Why are sky flares visible further than hand flares?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I think he means where if you got a flare on a stick versus a flare gun, why is it that you can see the flare gun further than you can see someone holding a flare?
Because it...
High elevation, I guess.
Yeah. Richard Walker's been a member for 3 months. He says, Dave, great work in Antarctica. Love the live stream. Flatzoid, you seem quite reasonable at times, but I still don't understand why you think the Earth is flat.
Because the Earth is flat. It's observed to be stationary, enclosed.
Bad Flatzoid. Design Song 1 for $10 says, yes, Flatzoid, showing the same sunspots from the same side of the sun from everywhere on Earth proves a local sun, depending on if you personally consider 93 million miles local. I mean, it's definitely local to our solar system, but yeah. Do you disagree with the observations of the sunspots verify our predictions?
No, I haven't really looked through them yet to make that distinction, but it definitely doesn't show 93 million miles away.
Max M became a member, thank you. Richard Walker, £2, one for the target. Yeah, it's going to be after the show, guys, don't worry. We Are Golga Frinchins for £5 says, Flatzoid, can you admit that Dave's receipts have shown your relative density about some of your questions regarding TFE faking the 24-hour sun?
Like I said, I'm in between now. So, yeah, some of them have cleared up some things.
Well, that's good. It's progress. We like that, don't we? Yeah. Steve C, £5. Zoid said, if your Insta360 shows a 24-hour sun, then I can accept it. So make him sit through it so he can't deny it anymore. Flatzoid, you've got to watch a 24-hour video. You up for that?
Wow, that's as long as you guys are gonna sit with me and super chat it, then it's fine.
I mean, that actually wouldn't be a bad stream. A day-long stream with the 24-hour sun going in the corner, just talking. You could do that.
But do I have to do it in 2 times, remember? Can I do 12-hour streams?
Yeah, true. Divids €5 says, you accept claims from an ancient book on faith because it says so, but all of the footage from TFE is somehow not evidence. What is evidence for you, Flatzoid?
No, the Bible validates what I observed, not the other way around. I was always a Christian glober before I was a Christian flat earther.
Fair enough. Sparky NJ, member for 60 months. Dude, I'd like to know if Flatzoid is ready to accept the evidence, given he hasn't put forth any credible refutation. But we did say that he's halfway in between now, so I think that answers that. Jaywalking €10, question to Flatzoid, why do you keep trying to debunk a globe instead of coming up with a working model or even actually learn the stuff you rant about? Kudos, Dave and Craig.
I don't need to debunk a globe because the globe hasn't been shown valid yet.
Would thoroughly disagree with that, and I think Dave would as well. Sparky NJ, $5, count my member chat, it could be whatever, then he must concede. Oh yeah, we've gone through that one. Max M, $5, if anything, the final experiment has brought Globers and Flerfs together, and both know that Witsit is a compulsive liar. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that, fuck you Witsit, right? Dave spent personal time with him, and, you know, he nearly has to have therapy. He lied to Flatzoid, and he lied to me. So, yeah, all sides get to dislike Austin Witsit. So, you know what he's done? He's run away and joined Globebusters, because they're the only ones that will have him. Judy Bassett, €10, says, watching this to listen to Dave. You got a fan, Dave?
Thank you.
Douglas Jenkins, $2, Flatzoid, can you convince me that South Africa is real?
Yeah, come to South Africa. How's that?
You going to pay?
No, they want to know it's real. I don't need to pay them. They can go.
I did consider South Africa for one of my holidays next year, but
Yeah, come to the bush. Definitely well with it.
Lions. Bob, $2. Yes, thank you for the meeting the target. Huge Arse, $2.99. Flatzoid, have you received your invitation to the final experiment yet?
No, still haven't got my formal invitation.
What's a formal invitation?
Yes, to personally contact me in either email or tagging me or anything. None of this has ever been done.
Oh, I would ask Flatzoid, formal invitation to what?
Apparently, I was formally invited to TFE to go to Antarctica, take part as a participant. I was never notified of this.
No, you were one of the 48 on
But
the
was
short list.
notified.
Well, you were aware of it because you've been on streams.
No, people were telling me, you're invited to go, just like they've invited Michael Kahn, they've invited Sov, they've invited PJ, invited because the trolls, literally, since this whole thing come out, you guys all going to Antarctica, you all invited to go to Antarctica. So when they asked me, you've been invited to Antarctica, yes, because everybody's invited to Antarctica. The difference is, I said I'm not formally invited by Duffy because he literally didn't invite.
Will didn't formally invite you because he wasn't offering to. He never gave you an offer to pay for you to go. The 48 were people who were potentially in the running to have a paid for spot, or you could interview Will about the final experiment on his channel, or you could put forward a suggestion of how to basically avoid all of these questions that you've got now. That was what you were invited for. So he never actually invited to pay for you to go to Antarctica. Because
No, I didn't say that. I was just talking about formal invites.
I know it. I just mean like you're making like a big deal of you didn't receive a formal invite.
No,
but
the reason I made a deal of this is because we're under the comprehension that he's already planned to have Whitson and Jaren go anyway, way in advance. It was just a farce to make it look like he's actually wanting flat earthers to make it look fair.
Well, didn't you say that? Did you just say that other people you knew had been invited as well?
Yeah, and
did they get emails?
People got emails.
Right, so it's not like it was some conspiracy of they're only sending...
Let's put it
that
this
Will's
way,
not...
even if I got an invite, and a lot of people go, do you think any of them would have been chosen over Jaren and Whitsett?
Well, Flat Earth Dave had the first... well, in fact, no, there was a poll put out. Will put a poll out. He gave 4 people and put a public poll. If they'd all turned it down, it then would have carried on to whoever else.
Yeah, and who's got the biggest platform in the Flat Earth with subscribers? Would be Jaren and Whitsett
Would
and
be
Dave.
Debay.
Yeah, but
Would be
Dave
Debay,
turned it down
but...
anyway. Yeah, but he turned it down anyway.
Yeah, he did, and so did Dearth. But I mean, to be honest, I was openly convinced that Austin and Jaren wouldn't have taken it.
Yeah, me too.
I was convinced that I was absolutely convinced that all 4 of them on that list would have rejected it because they weren't interested as to whether there was a son or not. Well, then, like I said, there was also the golden ticket draw that came out. That
I don't agree with
all
that
the rest
either.
of you. What?
But I
Sorry,
don't
go
agree
on.
with that either because Jaren spoke before that. He was very heavy into the sun. He was talking about the sun that could prove things, and the same rigmarole, always fighting against us, trying to tell him, don't say this, don't say that, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
no.
but then that's like Dean Odell, who sat on stage and said, let's go to Antarctica, and if the sun circles around us, it's a globe. And he's since come out and said, the 24-hour sun is Satan in the sky, and refused to trip. So, you know...
Yeah, but this is why we're saying a lot of us understand that this whole thing's based on deception. Nobody trusts Duffy because from his get-go, he's been deceptive about this whole thing. So that's why a lot of people are very skeptical about...
In what way
most
has
of
he
it.
been deceptive?
He started out first lying, saying he doesn't even know who's part of it and who's joining, and he even lied to Sean from King in Context.
Again, is that being deceptive or is that building up hype?
You're asking, and then even made an apology video and lied in his apology video.
He didn't lie in his
Since then
apology
has
video.
had more deception that's come out. So, yeah, we don't need to trust the guy. It's as simple as that.
Well, fair enough, but then there was also the option of, like I said, there was... like, if you didn't trust Duffy, surely having someone independent come along to keep an eye on him would have made more sense. And yet nobody put in for the golden ticket, which wasn't Duffy. In fact, Brian Leakey did, and he seemed to get a shit ton of flack from flat earthers because he put his name down for it. And nobody, well, Critical Think and MC Toon weren't paid for by Duffy. They paid for themselves. No flat earthers even attempted to crowdfund.
Yeah, like we're saying, because we don't see the need to. Because it doesn't prove whether the Earth is flat or not.
Well, I mean, I would question, if you don't trust Duffy, keeping an eye on him would have made more sense. And if it doesn't matter, if the 24-hour sun doesn't matter to Flat Earth, then why are Flat Earthers making so much of an effort to try and discredit the 24-hour sun footage rather than just go, okay, there's a 24-hour sun, so what?
That's what I'm saying. At the moment, it's this. If it's true, why so much lies? That's what's going on at the moment. But
at the moment, there aren't actually any lies, though. So I think pretty much everything that you've come at me today seems to be just misinformation or misunderstandings of things, or not knowing exactly what happened because you've not asked the questions to the people who actually went, or the people you have asked is a pathological liar.
Yeah, but like I said, that's the whole reason why everybody's feeling this way, because of all the deception. It's again not about if we see the sun or not. Anybody can accept if we see the sun, that's fine. But at the moment, everybody's processing through why all the lies.
I know, it just seems a bit strange that I mean, so far there's not really been... What lies have there been? Apart from Witsit and Vapegate, the rest of them, at least the ones that I've seen...
I brought a few up tonight with the bags,
but they haven't...
times,
But that's all just Witsit not understanding stuff.
I was going to say that was Witsit complaining about bags and the times that we'd arrived, which was him lying, not TFE.
Yeah, no, I understand. We understand
not deception in TFE. You know, the times that we were in Antarctica for isn't lies. That's Sovereign Soul seemingly under the impression that we're lying when we actually weren't.
No, I understand. But yeah,
Sovereign Soul, who won the
I'm just
quickest to
saying-
throw Jeranism under the bus award. Good boy.
Well, Jaren kind of asked for it. To be fair.
No, he really didn't. Not after him and Solve have been such good friends for a year. Right, I know that you can't stay very flat, so I'm going to go through and see if there is questions for you specifically. Douglas Jenkins, $2 says, Flatzoid, why is the equal size of the sun interesting?
Because if angular size doesn't change, it still goes for what you guys claim. But so yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, I still have to look through the stuff to see properly.
Yeah, that's something that would match our model, right?
To a degree, yeah.
And thank you, Douglas Jenkins, there for your 10th super chat on the channel. So many super chats, guys. Thank you very much. Winston says, $5 Canadian. If the A map is not the flat Earth map, then what is the flat Earth map?
There is no such thing as a flat Earth map, just like there's no such thing as a globe map.
I mean, this is a globe map.
No, we've been through this before. That's not a map.
It's a globe map.
It's a globe, but it's not a map.
I know, but it maps out the continents.
Okay. Would the question not be? Would the question not be? What is the accurate representation to scale of distances between all points around Earth? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if the Earth is flat, then surely there should be an accurate representation on a flat.
I mean, you snigger Flatzoid,
yeah,
but you'd have to have a way of knowing the distances between all places in order to navigate round successfully.
Yeah, and it's based on a horizontal plane.
Right, but why is it then you say it's based on a horizontal plane, but you can't actually show the accurate one single accurate representation of it?
Every map in existence comes from horizontal datums.
No. Oh, goodness. Right. Where's Wally? $5 says, Flatzoid, would you like to watch the drone footage of Union Glacier Camp from Halfway Camp? Because he's got a link for you.
Really seen it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No, you've not seen.
Isn't it that one from?
No, this is an unseen one, I think.
Different one.
So, yeah. So the one that Wally's got, which I mean, I could bring it up here if you want. It shows the 360 circling around that Will published, but it's also got the full descent as well. So you can actually see Union Glacier Camp disappear, I don't know, about 20 feet before it lands back at halfway point. In fact, it landed while I was in the middle of live streaming because you can see me on the table.
Yeah, you did say there was a hill in between there or something, and like it's in a valley. The camp.
Yeah,
so.
it's not flat. I mean, it's pretty much ice between us, but it's not flat ice. It drops down. So the camp is at a lower elevation to halfway point, and then the base of Mount Rossman's down a valley because that's why there's flags at the south end of the camp. They said don't go down there because there's a great big ditch.
Yeah, I heard that. They're talking about you fall in there. It's quite dangerous.
Yeah, that's pretty much why they told us not to wander off into the snow areas. If you look around the camp, the trail that we're walking on is all where they've cleared for the ice marathon runners. So it's all packed down ice, which is why we're not leaving any footprints. And they said don't wander off into the snow because we can't be sure as to what's under there. Nobody's been to check.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Indie Tiger Sci-Fi Review for $10 says, Flatzoid, I navigated ships in the Navy. Why do ships crossing the ocean follow curved paths to reach their destination? If the Earth was flat, you could just follow a straight line.
You follow dead reckoning. You don't follow curved paths.
Well, no, dead reckoning is what you do when you've got nothing else to go by. When you've got actual navigation tools, you don't do dead reckoning.
Navigation's still based on dead reckoning. You have your previous...
No, it's not. As a navigator, Flatzoid, I'm telling you, you're wrong, bud.
You have drift... currents, you don't follow a curved path. That's
you do.
Rubbish.
You literally map out curved paths to take. No, again, as a navigator myself, I can tell you that is a factual thing. You have to learn this in basic training in the Navy.
Okay.
Weird Gogolfrinchin says, instead of going to Antarctica flats, why don't you buy a round the world airline ticket? See if the route matches the globe or a flat Earth.
He's going to pay the money for that. Probably going to cost more than going to Antarctica.
Surely with the 2,000% increase in your channel, you can afford that by now, right? Congratulations
look,
on the hundreds of viewers, though. It's good to see you getting more views than Nathan Oakley, which is always nice.
You know what, guys? Another guy porn bombing my Discord again. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I encourage none of my people to ever do shit like that.
Thank you, Globers. It's the same guys again with the same shit stuff, and it's always the Globers doing this. Why?
Well, I've had a bunch do it.
By the way, this is the fourth time I've
me.
been porn bombed in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, don't do that on my side. 100%. I do not agree with that. I've had it happen to me. It sucks. Gideon David Sampson says Flerfs FTFE. There we go. Magnus Build says Flatzoid, can you explain the OTH targeting I use regularly on my ships that must take curvature and Coriolis into account? And thanks for your super chat cherry being popped.
Explain it. Uses calculations based on line of sight, probably. I don't know. I don't know the system, so I can't tell you. And I'm not going to act like I do know. Anyway, it's 1:15 in the morning. I can't sit here all day. I've got to get up for 3 hours to get up for work, guys.
Okay.
No, that's fair enough, Flats. Are there any other
yeah.
closing questions from your side before you head off, or?
Doesn't look like it. Just the affidavit one again.
Okay, well, let's see if we can get them to sign an affidavit. If they do that, maybe that'll shut some people up. All right, Flatzoid, I do want to say thank you. I know it is late for you there, stupid globe and time zones. And I know you've got working on, so I do appreciate you taking the time. Thank you very much. And hopefully you and we still need to continue our gravity and thermodynamics conversation as well.
Yeah.
And also, well, quickly, one question. Professor Phil Bell asked, would you like to take some physics classes on my channel?
Why?
Because he'd like to try and teach you some physics.
He tried to come on here and try to teach me thermodynamics, and at the end of the day, he couldn't get anywhere.
Well, the offer's there if you want it. But yeah, thank you very much for that.
By the way, I'm still waiting for Phil Bell's demonstration that he promised us over a year ago.
Well, maybe if you agree to the classes, he can show you that. But yeah, I do appreciate you taking the time, Flatzoid. So I'll speak to you soon, all right?
Okay, sure. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Dave, again. I appreciate it, man. It was a great discussion.
All right. Bye, Flatzoid.
Cheers.
There we go. Oh, Dave, how can you sit there so calmly when he's just calling you a liar?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think... Well, did he directly call me a liar?
Well, he said you faked the stuff and that, it's... he still says that it's not real, so isn't that calling you a liar?
Yeah, I suppose to some extent. I mean, it's incredible that the 360 footage never went dark at any point.
Yeah, I know, right?
Should have set.
And if they went there earlier in the year during the off season, when the sun isn't in the sky all the time, then they couldn't have got HDR pictures of everything being in sunlight. Because that's not how that works. I quickly need to take a Riley before I need to read the rest of the incredibly large list of super chats. Phil, are you happy to hang around, Dave?
Yeah, go for it.
Right, all right. I'll be back in 2 minutes after I have a Riley.
What is a full moon and what is a new moon on your model?
Probably like a magnetic cycle, and just like the center of a barrel cell image of a magnet.
Just like the center of a Flerfs spiral. Image of a magnet, it's just black in the middle. It's actually pure inertia, not just a little. In the Flerfs image of a magnet, it actually goes into its inertial state, then charges back up. It becomes like etherically displaced. Yeah, you start to see it charge up once more, and it goes back like it did before. Once it becomes like etherically spaced, you see it charge up and take its place. Oh, shucks, ain't that so? That's how moon phases work, fam. Pass the dresser. In the magnet's heart, centrifugal divergence flies, centripetal convergence pulls. Defying all science, etheric whispers sing, light and shadow blend, magnetic cycles spin, where physics seems to end. In the Flerfs image of a magnet. It actually goes into its inertial state, then charges back up. It becomes like etherically displaced. Yeehaw! Grab your partner, swing 'em round, magnetic cycles up and down. Either song in the air, hillbilly science everywhere, 'cause it's like etherically displaced. Yeehaw! Yo, belly on up to the Wixit word salad buffet. Who has light vinaigrette? Behind the Jugger Ranch.
Then charges back up, and once it becomes like etherically displaced again, you start to see it charge up.
Man, Witsit is going to get dragged over the coals this year. My new series of Flerfs are Idiots are basically about him and Dave Weiss. Because they give me all the stupid I need. Like, I keep trying to think of other things, but then they do something stupid. I want to say thank you to everyone watching. I peaked at nearly 2,500 people, which I think is a channel record. Incredible. And the amount of super chats and memberships I got is absolutely insane. I'm literally only halfway through the super chats. I'm going to do an after show where I'm going to watch for the first time the Witsit going on to Nathan Oakley and asking for advice show, which apparently is one of the funniest things ever put on the internet. So make sure you stay in the chat and join me for that. Have you seen that, Dave? Have you?
You what, mate?
Have you seen that? Have you?
Yeah, I think I watched through it the other day. Sorry, I've got my earphones in and I keep trying to keep an ear on Flatzoid's post chat stream. Just curious as to what they're saying.
Oh, probably that he wrecked you. You know, you got destroyed, Dave. You know, even though.
No, I mean, Flatzoid seems to think he seems to think there's areas that I contradicted myself in. So it'll be interesting to see what he comes back with, because yeah, I've got several hundred gig worth of videos and photos that I didn't show him. So it's going to be funny to see what holes he digs for himself with that. And yeah, Sovereign Soul seems obsessed with this. We went like this whole. Did we go back on the 17th? Did we go back on the 18th?
Yeah, no. He phoned them to check like what dates it happens. Like, it's ridiculous, you know.
So I was like, hang on. So you accept we flew to Antarctica? They flew us. ALE flew us to Antarctica, and you accept they flew us back from Antarctica. But you think they flew us on the 18th, and for some reason we've decided to tell you that it's the 17th for no benefit whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, we left a day early because that's something we would want to cover up and lie about. It's like, let's cause ourselves more problems, right?
I thought if he pushed back on it, because I thought I knew, like, I've got all of this here, so I thought I'll just see how much he pushes back on things. I didn't just dump everything that I've got, because I thought I'll give him an answer, see what he says. If he pushes back on it, he starts arguing about it, I've got something else that I could bring back. So when he asked about the dates, because Sovereign Soul had pressed him so hard on it, I was expecting more pushback from it. And I was lined up to bring up where the hell is it? This. So this is the GPS track log of our flight back from Flight Radar 24. The GPS coordinates are all logged on the 17th, not the bleeding 18th. That's direct from Flight Radar.
It's crazy.
But did he bother going and looking at that? Did he? Fuck.
No, he just went, it doesn't make sense, man. Why would you come back a day early, man? I'm a chong-looking motherfucker, man.
Yeah. So do your own research, my knob.
I very much enjoyed Jaren's show the other day when he did the awards. The quickest to throw him under the bus was Sov, and the best Chong-looking motherfucker was also Chong. Chong was also. I didn't even get through.
Do you know what? I didn't even get through I didn't even get a chance to go through all of the awards things. It was just him barreling into.
Oh my god!
Flat Earthers for 3
hours. He ripped
was
Flat Earth
enough.
apart. And then he's gone on Globebusters and done the same straight to their faces, and they've said thank you and let him leave. And I'm like, Jaren, what the fuck, dude?
I saw the start of the Globebusters bit where he came on and basically explained why Flat Earth was untenable for him.
Yeah. Like, he's literally said the Earth's a globe now. Yeah, he's probably going to be stuck on space isn't real and that for a bit, but I think we can fix him. And... but...
Sorry. I picked back into Flatzoid's stream and he was like, he said there's some bits that he thinks he agrees. Doesn't buy that I'm not a Mason though.
I mean, the thing about being a Mason is so ridiculous because so what? Masons are just boys' clubs having drinks, and then do you know what they have to do in their initiation ceremony is decide which charity they're going to do work for.
I don't know the first pissing thing about Masons and what they have to do, what ceremonies I don't give a fuck. In the same reason I don't know what most religions make you do in church.
No.
Or wherever. I don't care. So when they're coming at me going, oh, you've done some satanic or you've done Masonic rituals or whatever, I'm like, what the fuck?
Dave, apparently... Flatzoid's also a body language expert, and he says your body language was strange.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Great. A fucking wonder like Steve.
Oh my god. Steve sent Jaren a super chat the other day, which was weird.
Bleeding hell.
I know. Magnus Build became a new member. Thank you, Mr. Toffee's £2 says, I'd be with Jaren, but I'd have a better joint or two. I don't know, man, he smoked a joint in Antarctica. That's pretty fucking cool. As far as I'm aware, Jaren was the only person to smoke weed in Antarctica. That might not be true, but I don't know of anyone else, for sure, that is toked at the bottom of the world. And that's pretty fucking cool. Excuse me. Although, I don't know if I'd be that brave to take it all through customs and that like he did. Because, that's getting through American customs and then the Chile customs. I don't know. That's brave.
Yeah.
And
maybe his plan was that he snuck it all on in the hope that he would get caught and they wouldn't let him go to Antarctica to see it.
And then that was all, it was all planned.
Yeah, the security stopped me. It's all a con.
I still think that Witsit, like the day before, was like, I'm not going to be going. And then when it was like, shit, I've got to go tomorrow, I better buy a laptop.
Jaren, even like multiple times when we were in Chile, was like, still might get cancelled. It became a running fucking joke. We were on the flight going to Antarctica. I was like, Jaren, do you think it still might get cancelled? He's like, yeah, it might still get cancelled. Get to Union Glacier Camp. I'm like, don't worry, Jaren, it might still get cancelled. I put a fucking super chat in his stream that he did the other night. I said, don't worry, Jaren, it still might get cancelled.
Jaren has said some horrible things throughout the years, and he's trained people to ignore evidence and stuff, but this has been a big change for him, and, he's going back and looking at his old stuff and saying to people that, you shouldn't have listened to me, I was wrong about this. And, yes, he's been a flat earther, but I agree with people giving it second chances. Maybe this is Jaren's second chance, and he's, as far as I can tell, he's being as honest as he can be. So honest that he's left the community he's been part of for a decade,
I think it's one of those that I think a lot of people, you treat people in a certain way until you get treated in that same way, and then that opens your eyes to it. I think, don't they say that's, it's kind of like, I can't think of certain examples, but like crimes and stuff where people who commit crimes and don't see a problem with committing those crimes until they're on the receiving end of it, and then suddenly their perception of it changes because you're on the receiving end. And I think Jaren's going through that. And to be fair, he's on the stream the other day, he was coming out and saying, I know I've basically taught you how to come up with all of this stuff, but don't fucking listen to me. So hats off to him.
Yeah. I mean, I genuinely think the guy's been going through some kind of existential crisis, and we all need to kind of be there for him because the people that he thought were his friends have all chucked him under the fucking bus.
Yeah. Well, that was to be expected.
Yeah, maybe not his close friends like Durf and Sov and stuff. You know, it's been.
Well, no, but I think it was genuinely generally kind of accepted from the outset that once all this comes out, if he acknowledges the 24-hour sun, there's he was going to get thrown out in the same way that STST and Ranty and Rachie all were.
Yeah, but at the same time, look at Ranty and Rachie and STST now. So much happier people.
Yep.
Pel Kaiser 56 says FTFE. Excuse me. If you debate a Flerf, could you just for a goof say nothing but nuh-uh, fake or CGI afterwards? Ask them how did that feel. Yeah, I've been thinking about that for my next debate on Monday Debates with Matthew Hakim, but we'll see. Douglas Jenkins with their 10th Super Chat channel for $2. Flats. Oh, we read that one. Alright, Jiffy Cones became a member and then gifted 5 fuck you Ashtons. And then Navy Jet Fixer also gifted 5 fuck you Ashtons. Guys, on the 31st of this month, I'll be doing another membership drive. Where the main point of the membership drive will be to get Ashton a fucking membership.
You know what's going to happen now? He'll get the first fucking membership and you'll have to end the stream.
I know. Alright, done. Fuck. Yeah, but it needs to finish at least before the 12th because I'm of February because I'm going to New Jersey and I can't unless I can keep the stream going and stuff. JSS Tiger.
That would be amazing. That would be an amazing stream. You just go stream until Ashton gets a membership.
Yeah.
There's no timers, none of that shit. It's
no,
just we go
until
he gets a membership.
JSS Tiger $2 says Craig Santos is right behind you. I'm pretty sure the guy emailing me is actually a troll pretending to be Santos at this point. There's some weird things with the way he's talking. Fletcher Boy for $9.99. Where do rockets go when they launch? Anyone can watch a rocket launch in person, so it's not fake. But just ask JM Truth. You can't pan 9 miles. Oh, Dave, I would have loved to see you debate JM Truth about cameras.
Thanks.
That would have been fucking brilliant.
Wouldn't.
Prudsa Perek for 1,000 claps. Flatzoid is right. The sun is local in like galactic scales. Yeah, it's local because it's the only sun next to us.
Compared to Andromeda, it's pretty bleeding local.
Yes.
In the same way that Tesco's is pretty local to me, but it's not outside me fucking door.
No. You're local to me, Dave, compared to the people in America, but I can't see you. Jay Walkin, €2 says...
Oh, sorry, go on.
No. Dave, he says that Dave McKeegan is the end boss. Yeah, when you're on the stream, it's like... Da-da-da-dun. Music started playing. Da-da-da-dun. Oh, shit. What's going on? Greg Ware, $2 Australian dollars, sorry. Flatzoid is for confirmation bias before truth. Yeah, as long as the Bible said it. I am literally not even halfway through the super chats. You guys are insane. Alejandro Vallejo 50MX says, as long as Flerfs say or imply they know science when they know no scientist agrees with them, there will be no shortage of insults from me. Yeah, I tried to be nice to flat earthers for about 6 months. Then I started talking to them. Hey Dave, do you know how stupid Witzer is? He let Nathan Thompson in his house.
Hey, I've told you, he went and asked fucking Oakley for advice on what to say.
I know, I can't believe that. Oh, and knowing that Oakley fucking hates him. He just wanted some validation, the poor guy. He was like, please say I did good job. Vincent
What do I tell them?
€2. Rusty has more 3D space awareness than Flatzoid. Read that one. Mr. Toffee's £5. No, the answer from Dave on Liverpool was one of us are top of the league and you're not.
Ah, yes, that was it.
Is this that sports ball thing you talk about?
Yeah, that one.
Where the 22 like skinny guys kick the bag of air or something? I don't know. Albino Bad Guy $5 says, are you going to New York with your wife, V-Day and all? If so, I'm going to email you. Please check my email to you. Also, what's your email? fighttheflatearth@gmail.com. But I've just hit 20,000 unopened emails, so give me a second. Richard Ashton, not Ashton Richards, became a new member. We're all going for inches, £5 steads. Instead of going to Antarctica, no, read that one to him. A grumpy capybara, 6 months has been a member, says, can we now remove the ice wall from the flat Earth map? No, the water will just come off the page, unfortunately.
As body language expert, I don't need a map. I don't need to know where the fuck I'm going.
I think all flat earthers are apparently body language experts at this point.
I've just, do you know what? Where's Wally's just messaged me on Discord about that. It said about body language. I said it's amazing how many flat earthers are body language experts, and yet none of them have taken it up as a career.
Yeah, they should, man. Yeah. Richie Ruggs, $2. Ask Witsit, is Karen B's mustache fake? No, I'm going to try and ask Witsit as much as I can before he runs away from me. He's going to be in the same hotel, which has got a bar, so he's probably going to be drunk.
Yeah, take it from me, mate. Just like steer clear, like 10 feet minimum. Don't ask him any fucking questions, or if he's talking, he'll be on Discord, or he'll be if there's other flat earthers, he'll be talking. Don't enter the conversation.
Oh, but that'd be fun. If he's in Discord,
No.
I'll stand next to him and jump into the same Discord call. Witsit, no one to talk to you online, in face like they do online, do they? Well, Witsit, you're an idiot, and I'm going to call you an idiot to your face. Banging Out West, $5 says, Flerfs have some kind of spatial challenge or disability. Something broken in their brain's physics engine. Not worth the fuss.
I'm curious, because I was hoping, I'd been watching some of the streams of Flatzoid to see what excuses he was going to bring forward so I could get everything I needed into the one folder to find it all. And he brought up some video, I can't remember who the hell it was by, and they showed, they made this rendering to try and suggest that there should be like really extreme parallax. The fucking renderings are basically suggesting that we were at the equator, not the South Pole anyway. But there's like a really big deception with it, and I had to watch it back twice. I was like, that's like they're showing, like, if there was two cameras, sort of one here, and they're rotating around a point like the South Pole, how they'd get in each other's way for viewing the sun. And I'm looking at it in the first person view, and I'm like, that's literally a completely different render. You've got an object there that is physically having to be moving around the other camera, which didn't happen. I didn't want to give Flatzoid, like, get him to bring it up and point it out. It's like, just go and have a watch of it and see if you can work it out. So I'm going to basically give him another chance to see if he can figure out why it's a deceptive, lying pile of shite before I expose it for what it really is.
How many chances do you think Flatzoid's teachers gave him at school before they gave up?
I think N+1.
Yeah, they're like sitting in a staff room. You know that thing about no kid left behind? Yeah, can we not do that? Professor Philip Bell.
I'll give Flatzoid his dues. I mean, you know, this was a polite discussion, and
yeah,
there wasn't going to be much of a fucking debate. I was there, he wasn't. I know what happened, he doesn't. So it was always going to be a sort of fact-finding mission for him. There was going to be no point that he could actually bring up that I couldn't bring up something right there and then to refute. As soon as he said about you did it in rendering,
Unreal
I'm like,
Engine.
okay, well, I've got the footage there on the camera, still not Unreal Engine. Oh, well,
yeah. So did you render it on Unreal Engine and then put it onto that camera or something like?
Yeah. So it's more the test now for his intellectual honesty will be what he then does with the information that he's been given tonight.
Professor Philip Bell, $2 says, ask Flatzoid if celestial navigation on flat Earth works and it measures flat. He would say it only works on that because you measure angles. And I'm a parrot that says what Oakley says. Apparently tangents don't exist. Earth is flat, $5. Flatzoid, would there be much controversy about the footage if only flat earthers that went in the sun? I asked him that and he said that yes, but there wouldn't. If you come back with footage that showed the sun setting, none of the flat earthers would be going over the footage. They would all be cheering.
Yeah, they were just like, that's it, globe's dead.
Yep. But don't you want to analyse the footage? Don't need to. Sun went down.
Nope. Yeah, I'd be like, but there was no foot. Where's the footprints? Nope. Sunset. Fuck off.
Yeah, but what about his breath? Doesn't matter.
You know what we should have done? Do you know what we really should have done? We should have gone to Antarctica, built a studio, and faked the sun setting, and then see what they fucking did.
I know, and then showed that it was fake.
Yeah.
Matt Rock $5 says, does Flatzoid want to confirm the nature of Earth's surface by measuring vertical drop and horizontal angles for 3 elevated points somewhere? No, because that his brain wouldn't be able to cope with that, frankly. Dr. Death Duck, well, you win the internet for the day with your name. Pop in your super chat, Cherry. Who can do the most press-ups, FTFE or Flatzoid? Well, I did 1,200 in a stream. He's got that to beat. What about you, Dave? How many can you do? Go on.
Well, I could easily do 1,200, by next December.
I will be... What's the date today? It's on the 21st. I am going to do my final charity stream and then see how much the total is. So that's going to be fun. I'll do another 1,000 push-ups then, because I hate my body or something. Who needs lats, right? You can just tear them apart. Geo $5, you can directly measure curve with theodolite or site level, Earth measures round. Yeah, but have you considered nuh-uh? Design Song 1, $5, Flatzoid promised to be just as skeptical of proof supporting Flat Earth. Assures he will never be skeptical to Flat Earth proof. Also, waters level? Yeah, no, Flat Earthers, they are complete science deniers when it comes to evidence that supports the globe, but they are pseudoscientists when it comes to evidence that supports the flat Earth.
Oh yeah, in fact, Steel City's just pointed out that video. That's from You Think. So it's like Flatzoid was just immediately jumping on it, and his entire chat was all like, "Yeah, you see, they got it wrong. And I'm there like, that they haven't got a fucking clue of how the perspective of that should actually look. Hence, I'll give him an opportunity to see if he can figure it out why it's wrong.
Well, he did show some, humility here and admit that some of the questions were answered. So who knows, but probably not. Is the next X-Flat Earther Flatzoid? Does he have to be Globezoid?
Turtle Move says apparently wearing a watch on my left hand is Masonic.
That's where I wear mine.
Actually, well, I apparently King Nico pulled it up that apparently the left one was something Masonic, and then I saw another channel that said that using the right one was Masonic for something else. So I'll just put it there instead.
But I've got my gym band on my right. So I need my watch on my left. And
just wear it on your head. That's probably, I don't know, that's probably fucking Masonic as well.
Here we go. This is how we have to wear watches now.
We'll start a new cult.
Clarence AS2, $5 Flatzoid. How much does PJ cost you each year in dog biscuits? Oh, talking about King Nico. He's in the chat apparently.
Yeah, I saw his name pop up. I wonder if he still thinks it was a studio.
Dumbass. Do you still think it's a studio? Banging Out West, $5. LMAO, how do you deal with the constellations in the same spot during the rest of the year, plus the Earth is still flat with a 24-hour sun? What? How do you deal with the constellations in the... Well, we just laugh at flat earthers that say those things because they're dumb and they don't know what they're talking about. Because the constellations definitely do move. MacMac499, when is anyone on TFE going to sign an affidavit with notary public as witness they have seen the 24-hour sun in Antarctica so we can have a public record? Hey, look at that! A flat earther gave me a super chat. Thanks. So, are you going to sign something then, Dave? You know what would really freak them out is if you signed it in your own blood.
Or my own shit.
Don't. Allegedly, Dave will turn up. Jumping is useless for $5 says, Flatzoid, why don't I see the Southern Cross? What's in the way? Why can't you see the North Pole? These are questions Flat Earthers just answered. Like, Flats just said, well, they're just moving around in the firmament. Well, there you go. He can answer anything about the sun and the sky just by saying it moves around in the firmament, without actually explaining anything.
I like it on his answer about the South Celestial Pole, like he was suggesting that he was like, you don't see the South Celestial Pole at the same time, as though the Celestial Pole is moving. Even though it was always in the same place in Chile, it didn't move across my time lapse. It was just there.
Indie Tiger Sci-Fi Review, $10. I'm a civil engineer now, and you're wrong about surveying as well. Different zones for surveying are used based on distance away from the base coordinates that apply different curve corrections. Look, dude, I've spent nearly 5 years trying to explain surveying to flat earthers. All right, I appreciate the $10 super chat. It's not going to work.
I'm still waiting for a flat earther to explain why total stations automatically correct for curvature and refraction. And so far, the only answer I've got is from a flat earther who claims to be a surveyor, who says that total stations are novice tools used by idiots. And it's like, yeah, but they're still applying them. And usually you would give the idiots, the novices, the ones that would get the job done right with the least amount of fucking effort.
Oh my god. I'm arguing with a Flerf on X at the moment that claims he designs engines and aerodynamics for F1 teams, yet seems to know nothing about engines or aerodynamics. And he says he doesn't do any calculations, he just sees it in his head.
Unless it's Adrian Newey, no you fucking don't.
No, yeah, let's see you go into an engineering degree, like engineering interview. So can I see your qualifications? Oh, I don't have any, I just see things in my head. Get out.
Yes, along with the voices.
Aaron299, Flatzoid used the pointers and crux to find SCP. Flatzoid can't do that. Tying shoelaces is hard. Design song 1, $5. Oh, no one ever looks directly... Oh, no one ever looks directly south. Yeah, what the fuck does he mean, no one ever looks directly south?
I don't know. I mean, I've not been to South Africa to see exactly what he's seeing, but as far as I fucking know, you want to find the South Celestial Pole, you look south. That's why it's called the South Celestial Pole, not the Southwest Celestial Pole.
Right, hold on. I am looking directly south.
I'm pretty sure if I pull up Stellarium and see where it is from Cape Town, it'll be fucking south.
There we go. Directly south. There you go. I'm looking directly south. That wasn't hard. Or as flat earthers think, looking directly south. Just go down.
Yeah.
Victor Garcia for $5. I'm a flat earther. I'm giving you $5. I'll challenge any of the Globers here to a pull-up comp. First, if I win, we debate like this, no scream. No, I can't do pull-ups, unfortunately. My rotator cuff is just... I'm really struggling with that. But I'll challenge you to a push-up competition, because I can do those. Dave, you can do pull-ups, right?
Yeah, I can easily pull up my car to, the side of the road.
Icy Spin 199 says, Flatzoid, why did you add your email after taking it down? Well, because apparently he got hacked. And then he doesn't know how that changed. Bill Tetley, $5. Never said there's a South Celestial Pole. We just say there is no South Celestial Pole. Flatzoid 2025. What the fuck? Yeah, dude, I know.
Yeah, I'm just looking. From Cape Town, the South Celestial Pole is... well, I mean, the nearest star that I can see to it is saying it's less than half a degree from perfectly south. So, I mean, is that how much of a southeast, southwest he's talking about here?
But you have to look southwest. You never look perfectly south. What does it mean you never look perfectly south? Fuck me.
I look perfectly south.
Valentine Daniel 199 says, Flatzoid, do you use the Dearth app? Nobody should use the Dearth app. And as Jaren said last night in his award show, the award for Flat Earther that was quickest to disseminate everyone's personal information, including passwords and home addresses, Dearth. MacMac499 says, you can be engaged in roleplay production. I can't tell the context in which you're making content until you sign an affidavit to tell the truth, Dave. Thanks, MacMac, for more. So unless you sign an affidavit, you are apparently just role-playing.
Evidently, and I'll wager I'll sign an affidavit, and then they'll still not actually accept the footage as being real.
Well, thanks for your money, MacMac. Mr. Eman, $10 Australian, says, let me get this straight. Flatzoid has no issue to being in the 24-hour sun, but the TFE has to be fake to follow all of the other flat earthers. Has to be fake to follow all of the other flat earthers. This tells me Flatzoid is the one being dishonest. Well, flat earthers, dishonest is just, how they are. You have to lie to be a flat earther.
I can't fathom how well, Flatzoid says the same as Dubay, which is, there doesn't make any difference whether there is or there isn't. But let's just invest hours a night, fucking consecutive nights of trying to find any argument that we can as to why it must be fake, because why the hell would you give a shit?
If it was, if it didn't matter, then Dubay wouldn't have done 4 videos in a row calling everyone liars and stuff, and
it doesn't make any difference to me whether the bus going into town is real or fake, because I'm not fucking going on it. But I'm not gonna then invest a load of time with a tinfoil hat on trying to prove or disprove it.
Yeah, it's like the ensign that says that Wolf 359 never happened. Stupid Starfleet. Davids for €2 says, there's no deception from Will, you fabricated. Yeah. So this is Flatzoid's logic. It's not deception if you tell a murderer, no, your wife isn't here. That's not being deceptive to the murderer. But it is deception to build up hype around a thing before it's released.
Yeah, he said deception was if you're intending to harm someone, and all Will actually did was not want to ruin a surprise a few days before it happened.
Yeah. And then him claiming that he lied on the afterwards is just false. He didn't lie on the apology. They're just claiming he did.
I don't know. I've not paid too much attention to it, but I'd seen not PJ. One of them had suggested to Flatzoid that he brings that up to me. I was like, what the fuck's that got to do with the 24-hour sun anyway? But my response would have been, did Santa bring you kids lots of nice presents a few weeks ago?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, Bang Out West, $2 says, Blarney Drivel Flim Flam. Yeah, that's Flerf in general. Shanu07AU, $2.99, and with their 5th super chat says, denialism is not equivalent to skepticism. Yeah, I'm going to say that to Flerfs. Thank you. They should have that tattooed on their foreheads. MTUK, £5, but why doesn't it matter if there's a 24-hour sun? You've not shown how it works on a flat Earth. You claimed it doesn't matter. Yeah, they say it doesn't matter so that they can keep saying that the Earth is flat. It's as simple as that.
Maybe it's because it doesn't matter because they can't see the 24-hour sun with their craniums inserted so far up their rectums.
Yeah, they should deal with that. Denzo 10CHF says, can I ask you, Flatzoid, what he thinks after this conversation with Dave? Well, he did say that he's reconsidered some things, but, Dave's body language gave it away, apparently. Dave, you need to sort out that body language, mate. You're just going to get us all in trouble.
Mate, right, English is my second language. Sarcasm is my first. Apparently, body language is somewhere behind French and German, of which I don't fucking know any either.
Monkey in the Works, £2 says, Witsit, admit he's wrong. No, I know. I have directly debunked Witsit to his face in 11 different debates. And no, that's not hyperbole. And he will never admit that he's wrong. I wrecked him on relativity, pointed out all his misconceptions, but no, he still goes around saying the same things because he is a pathological, narcissistic liar.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave spent time with him, so, MTUK for £2 says, debate Will Duffy on the Bible, let's see. Well, the Bible exists. What's there to debate? It's a book. I mean, do I have things to talk to Will about? Possibly. Young Earth creationism, something I disagree with. But let's get the final experiment out of the way first.
I'm just going to jump out for a minute while I go and have a Riley.
Roger, Roger. Channel Right for £2 says, like telling a child, there's a Santa Claus. The Grumpy Old Mechanic for £10. Flatzoid, when do you plan to take £500 from me for a couple of hours reading abstracts? Just keep asking, dude. It's hilarious. Icy Spin 199 says that you lied and said that Maker Ray doctored the email pic. Yeah, how can someone else doctor their email pic when they're like, how? Yeah. Britt Hauser for £1, thank you. And then for £2 says, Flatzoid, what's your view on Eric Dubay refusing? He said he's not Eric Dubay, but you know, Eric should have taken it because he has said specifically many times there's not a 24-hour sun. Excuse me. J, £5. Fluxoid is so stupid. He claims 4D chess is played on a flat board. You know what the funniest thing is? That Witsit is telling everyone that he is playing 4D chess. Like, the whole Vapegate thing. It's all part of his master plan. But no, dude. You're just a fucking idiot. Oh yeah, Max, of course he's lying. They didn't edit any HTML. Gilberto for €2. Less dust in the air to turn the sky another colour. Well, yeah, but a lot of it's due to exposure levels. Jay Walkin, €5. Thank you for the very first half-decent conversation with Keith. Well, actually, if you watched the one with Planet Peterson the other day, that was also half-decent. Planet Peterson is some kind of Jedi that interrupted Flatzoid and then made Flatzoid apologise for it. I was astounded. Still 1,800 of you watching, guys. Absolutely amazing. Let's see if we can get the likes up to over 1,000. Martin Smith, £4.99. Fluxoid, all predictions using the globe model confirmed. Could Flat Earth improve on this? No. No, it can't. And I've said this many times. If you don't have anything better than the globe model that explains the things the globe model does, get the fuck out the way because the globe model works. Brett, pop in their super chat cherry. Says the sun not only provides light but warmth. If the sun is outside of an enclosed dome, how does it heat Earth as we experience in reality? Yeah, but have you considered Magic Sky Daddy? Huh? Tyson Dog with their 5th super chat on the channel, $5 Australian. Flats, the Earth isn't a closed system. Energy comes in and radiates out. Why'd you lie about this? Don't worry. We're going to do the thermodynamics debate with him. Mick Hemingway, £5. Flatzoid is not being honest. He's not a flat earther. He's just a contrarian troll. Yeah. Danny Turner, hey buddy, how you doing? Get on Marvel Rivals. It's my new game. Member for 15 months says, Flatzoid, it's amazing how you still can't believe there's a 24-hour sun, yet you didn't even try and get funding or even pay for a ticket to go. Well, because you didn't want to get cold, apparently. PhD Tony, only real man in the room, for $10 Australian. We measure rotation via mechanical, ring laser, magneto levitation, superfluid, and matter wave gyroscopy. Competent generators, wind and ocean geostatic flow, and western boundary current intensification. Well, those were all words, Tony, and this is Flatzoid listening to that. Yeah, he wouldn't understand any of that. Tony, your expertise is always appreciated. Thank you very much. Jiffy Cohn's been a member for 16 months, and he says, if Flatzoid weren't allowed to lie, he'd be completely silent. He should be away. He should be anyway, seeing as he refused to go when he knows he was invited. But, so we know now, guys, that an official invitation means email?
I was going to say, did you officially invite him to this discussion?
I only spoke to him on Discord, so I guess not.
Do you know what? I was nearly going to just not turn up and then say, sorry, you didn't email me, so I wasn't formally invited.
Yeah, but you're not a dick. Icy Spin 199 says,
you don't fucking know me then.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, you are a dick. Let's make Flatzoid super chat rage quit. Dave can go. How was Flatzoid doing for super chats on his stream?
I don't know. I only saw 2, which were both from that Mac about an affidavit. So we sent
also
it to
sent them to
Flatzoid
me
twice and then sent it to you twice. So, yeah.
I mean, you'd think
Really
of all the extra views he's getting, he would be getting more super chats, right? Weird. Oh, unless it's all Globers watching him.
I was going to say, it's probably everyone from your fucking side going having a look what the comments are saying.
Well, we did go over and make the poll win for our side, which is always funny. 5th super chat on the channel for Gums Vibe with 35 Zars. What's your IQ, Flatzoid? 60? You have no interest in truth. You are only here to prove the Bible correct. Yeah. Grumpy Old Mechanic, $5. What evidence is there that the Ronald Amsden expedition's meticulous observations of the 24-hour sun at the South Pole were fake? Because the flat earthers said so, basically. The Turtle Moves, £2. P1000 would bring the camp back into view. No, you need McFlatty's P1 million actually for that, I think. I was arguing with the Flerf on X about this, and he's like, you couldn't see the camp. And I'm like, yeah, because it's behind a hill. There can't be a hill on 1.5 kilometers. I'm like, what do you mean there can't be a hill in 1 point? Are you okay? The Antarctic Express, $5. Flatzoid, how do cartographers know to draw accurate size and shape of Antarctica as depicted on the spherical globe? Easy answer is Earth's a globe.
Yes.
Right,
how did they get this on my t-shirt?
Amazing, right? David for $4.99 says, I went to South Africa once. At least I might have. Some of the clouds looked a bit off and the waves were suspicious. I cannot rule it out as a soundstage. Yeah, man, how am I going to know that I'm in New Jersey next month, man? It could just all be fake. James has obviously just created a soundstage to fake me into thinking I'm in New Jersey debating against Andrew Wilson.
Yeah, you'll be in Swansea.
Yeah. Ew, gross. Oh my god. Oh, and the super chat page has crashed again because you guys have sent so many. Come on. Right, there we go. No. Stop crashing. Come on. There. Alright, hold on. 1 sec. Got to refresh the page. Yeah, I've got the video of...
Come on, Craig, get your shit together.
Yeah, blame Google. Got the video of Oakley berating Whitset, so we'll watch that in the after show.
Yeah, I won't be hanging around for that.
That's okay. Right. Oh, come on. The page is crashing. It will not let me bloody reload it. Right, there we go. Mike Goat Killer for £2 says the real Flatzoid is locked in the cellar. Yeah, that I definitely wouldn't feed that one. Theodore Paul 199 says, whoa, Flats denied free high-priced education. Dumb. Yeah, I know. Professor Philip Bell will give him physics lessons, but he says, what's the point? Stuart James 499 says, if Queef had been honest about misspelling his name outright, he wouldn't be in this position. Fess up, pal. You want a flat earther to tell the truth? Only flat earthers that tell the truth are no longer flat earthers. Ranty, Rachy, STST, Jeranism. I can't believe that we are counting Jeranism as an ex-flat earther now. Like,
I know it is crazy.
If anything, the final experiment was a disaster. It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It's made the flat earth community like go crazy. It stopped Jeranism being a flat earther, and it did exactly what we intended to do and showed how dishonest all you fucks are. Andreas LH56 says Witcher is so stupid that he's winning 2025 Top Left Award even before the nomination period has started. Yeah, Toon and I will get on at that nomination soon. Do not worry.
I think my one should just fucking win from last year by default because I'm seemingly the only bastard that submitted an entry.
I know.
I put so much effort into that fucking video as well. Or maybe I'll roll it over to this year because I think he's still talking shite.
I think so, yeah. CC did win it for 2 years, but it's time for Whitsit to get it. Polasta Peric for 1,000 claps says, Dave, can we get a link to the full drone shot? Pretty sure that... Where's Wally in the chat has it? Just ask him. Steve from Wormhaven gifts 5 fuck you Ashtons, making it 38. Thank you. Denzo for 5 CHF says, Dave, Craig, thank you for your effort. You guys are awesome. It's sad to watch Flatzoid struggling to admit that he didn't know what to say anymore. Yeah. I don't know. Between you and Peterson, I think you've broken Flatzoid.
Well, that's why I thought I'll come at this with a completely sort of calm demeanour, because usually when he comes on this stream, and I think he expects the fucking barrage of crap from you, so it's like,
yeah,
let's see how he handles not having, the whole, oh, you're not letting me talk, you're not letting me get my points across. What points do you want to bring forward? None.
Yeah, no, I was biting my tongue quite a lot, doing lots of heavy breathing, And I managed to not get interrupted. I was impressed with myself. Everyone's like, this is the quietest Craig's ever been. Icy Spin 199. Chuck Norris doesn't believe in the globe. Finish. Chuck Norris doesn't need to believe in the globe because he knows it's one. But Chuck Norris could make the Earth flat with one punch. So, Denzo for 5CHF says, I think every flatty knows now. They know it but can't admit it. It's hard to admit you are wrong. We know. But for what on earth are you still going? Right. The reason the flat earthers are still doing it is because they need to feel special. Throughout their whole life, their mummy hugged them and said, you're my special little boy. No one's more special than you. And now their mummy's not around anymore. They don't have anyone telling them they're special. So they need to be a flat earther to feel special. Did I say special enough?
No, a couple more times.
Special. CJ Lamrix gifted a fuck you, Ashton. Thank you very much. Expendability member for 2 months says, Flatzoid launched a poll asking if the videos are real or fake. Poll closed. Most thought real. Yeah, I know. You guys are amazing. They called everyone pedo messages and raged out. Oh, lovely. All right. Greg for £2. I've been dry herb vaping for nearly 20 years. You won't regret it. Yeah, I think this is the only way I'm smoking weed from now on. It's incredible. I'm so much more stoned than I normally am. Jay Donachie, $10 says, Craig, Dave, Toon, Rachel, Ranty should go on a show, maybe even Simon Dan, and talk to Jeranism to show that we are supporting Jeren in his transition. That would be fun, actually. I have considered getting all the ex-Flat Earthers, that I know, so Ranty, STST, Sean, and Rachie, and getting them together, having a chat with Jeranism. That might be helpful. Lieutenant Fitz of Rage became a new member. Wrong channel, we should be over on Top Hats Off. New episodes every Friday, because I'm a nerd. Divs €2, Flatzoid calling yourself a skeptic is so cringe, I know, right? 10th super chat on the channel, Denzo for 20 CHF. For Jeren and Witsit, the TFE was an opportunity of their lives. They should have prepared to change their position, thus losing some subs but gaining more Globe subs, then go and debunk other flatties and just enjoy life again. I think Jeranism will be a great Globe channel. He's gonna,
I don't think he's gonna push it too much.
No, but he could be. I mean, he's already destroyed the Flat Earthers enough.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, all the points that he's brought up recently, when he's actually got a position and of the AE map, and then he found all the reasons why he thought the AE map worked, and now he's finding all the reasons why it doesn't. Mm-hmm. So he could do it, but he doesn't seem to be able to let go of that conspiracy just yet. And then I heard him on Glowbusters, and he seems to be edging towards geocentrism, which...
Yeah, baby steps, Dave. Baby steps. The Turtle Moves £2 says, Dave, wearing a watch on your left hand is Masonic. Yeah. Ah well, guess I'm a Mason. Slivery £5 says, Dave, you should have all taken giant inflatable penguin costumes with you to walk around in the background and troll. Did I tell you one flat earther told me that they know that you weren't in Antarctica because they didn't see any polar bears? I mean, I'm not surprised you didn't see any polar bears. There was a planet in between you.
Yes, I didn't need the P1 million to fucking see those things.
Mark
I
W.
I've got a video coming out. I don't know when I'll publish it. Tomorrow, Wednesday, where I go over all these fucking things, and one of them is DroneGate, and the whole lot who were jumping on the beeps from the drone as it backed away because they think it was backing towards the studio wall. If you go back and watch that live stream, you see how far the drone goes away, and then you fast forward a few more minutes, I go wandering off about twice as far just to prove the point, like in shot, just wandering off way down the road to take a picture.
Yeah, no, but you were just at that was pre-recorded and put onto the screen, according to Nico.
It's funny because I was just there going, they're going to say that the drone stopped at the edge of the studio. I'm going for a fucking walk.
They're just so dumb. Mark W, £5 says, I'm 2 hours behind, damn it. Have you talked about Witsit telling everyone he's going to crowdfund to get another free trip to space? Well, I'm more than happy for Witsit to go to space as long as he doesn't get to come back. Okay? Just leave him there. And who does he think's going to fucking send him to space after seeing how useless he was with the fucking final experiment? Man, although I think we might... Me and you, Dave, let's convince Will to send us to space. We could do that, right?
Oh, I don't... Do you know, I kept saying... I've been joking. I said to Wally before when he sent me that drone footage, and it was only having seen the descent that I realised just how close to landing it was before the camp was out of sight.
Yeah.
And I said, I wish I just put this after we'd finished. I wish I'd just put this onto fucking record video and launched it into the air, because you'd have picked up for the camp from there. It's like, well, maybe we need to go back and just do it again.
Borg Emporio says NASA just to get rid of him. Yeah. Templar Warden $5 Museum says, great work, Dave. I appreciate your calm approach to this whole subject. I don't know what's wrong with the render. Could you cover this in a video? I think he's just going to re-render it, but... Oh!
The Part 3 render?
Yeah.
I assume. So I don't know why it is. So with Insta360, you get a choice. You can either render a full 360 video in one go, or you can render just a standard, like, 16:9 or whatever crop that you can move around the frame. So, like, the first time-lapse that I posted was taken from the full 360, but I just had the cropped view following the sun round for the full loop. So when I split the full 24-hour video into 3 parts, parts 1 and 2 were complete 360s, but for some reason part 3 was just fixed looking towards the hut. You couldn't pan the camera around. I should have picked up on it sooner, because it was only like a quarter of the file size, even though it was like half the time. So I should have picked up on it. I just didn't think until I'd uploaded it to TFE. Will was close to putting it online, and then I went to look at it for something for one of my videos and realised I couldn't turn the camera around. So I was like, message Will. I said, shit, that video's like not right. It's not a 360. I need to redo it.
Whoopsie. I mean, there's a lot of data you guys having to deal with. So someone in the chat says,
part
is space real?
Part 3 is the best.
Right. Red Blue says, is space real? Why CGI? Because CGI can look pretty. I mean, we don't actually have space battles to record. I mean, you know.
Well, I was gonna say, if Earth real, why CGI? Because people still fucking produce artist renderings of things on Earth.
Jaywalk-in, €2. Flatzoid's room is an enclosed system. His brain definitely is. Annalise Knapp, $2.79. Now look west, southwest to look at me. West, southwest. Wait, where's it go? West, southwest is... No, that's east. There you go. I am looking at you now. Hi!
Hang on, whereabouts is he? Don't you need to look down more?
Oh yeah, wait. Icy Spin 199. Dave, you can be the flat earth skeptic gap in MKT? What? Dave, you can be the flat earth skeptic gap in MKT. I don't know what you're on about, Icy Spin, but thank you. Nivox Spilkelman, £2. You tried with this one, but it's beyond help. It. Mr. Toffee's £2 says Dave for top left.
Thanks.
I nearly won top left once. Jay Walkin, €2, says, what about Lisbeth? Is she still flat? Yeah, apparently she's just done what Wits it is and saying, it doesn't mean the Earth's flat, not flat. And then just ignoring everything that happened, really. Mr. Toffees at £2 says, FTFE quiet means record views. Yeah, maybe I should just do more streams of me not speaking. That seemed to do quite well. Icy Spin 199 says, how is Chong motherfucker statement not racist? Am I wrong? Well, because he's not Chinese, really, I guess. And, you know, he is a Chong looking motherfucker. Karen B was right.
He was not happy. He was not, like, I only jumped a bit, I only caught a bit of what he was saying, but yeah, he really does not buy that after being in Antarctica, which was the point of going, he doesn't believe that we just got back to Chile and just chilled out.
It's so dumb.
And he's taken that we didn't really do anything to thinking that we were all just sitting in our hotel rooms. It's like, what the? It's like, I mean, for me, I've had a look through. The only things I did productive was a few short demonstrations that I did to destroy Joe Hanvey's model.
Not hard to do.
Just keeping that. Yeah, just keeping them on the just keeping them sidelined for when I need them. But yeah, other than that, it was just like, I think for the most part, my body clock was shot to shit, so I wanted to get some sleep. And then we had several thousand photos and videos of things to go through, so I just sat downstairs in the hotel restaurant for a while, just editing away, and went off and got some lunch and shit, and generally just unwound. And then Toon and I spent most of the next night fucking live streaming until sunrise.
Yeah, but you know, that requires actually working hard and thinking about stuff, whereas apparently Witsit just kind of got drunk and then slept a lot of time in Antarctica whilst he wasn't shouting on Discord. Man, honestly, what a fucking waste. Indie Tiger, and I read that one. Indie Tiger Cypher review, $5. Don't worry about the Penguin Army. The Polar Bear Marines will protect you because they are polar opposites. Get out, please. Gilberto, €2 says Tommy Chong is what he means. Possibly. Matt Benson Photography with their first super chat on the channel. Pop in your cherry. Red Bull Free Fall, Mark Rober, Egg Drop, Can See Curve. Well, yeah, but as the Flat Earthers have said, they're all fake because reasons.
Yes.
Everyone wants me to get, well, Brock Blocker wants me to go back to the bong rather than this because it makes a cooler noise. But that's all the super chats, guys. Absolutely insane stream. Peaked at like, 2,500 people watching. Incredible amount of super chats. Lots of 38 fuck you Ashtons, members. Because none of you like Ashton Richards for some reason. I'm not sure. But Dave, thank you very much for coming on, bud. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. It was fun. And yeah, we'll see what intellectual honesty comes from it.
I reckon this year we all need to have some kind of meet up. At least the ones in the UK, and see if we can talk Toon into coming over. Go down and see Simon Dan and Cats and stuff. Like, they have Flat Earth conferences. Why can't we have a Globe conference?
I've said that before.
Let's do it. Let's get that arranged.
Yeah. They can have fucking Flat Earth meetups for 4 people. We can have a Globe... we could have GlobeCon.
Yeah, where at least 9 people turn up. Beat any Flat Earth conference.
Could we hire out like the NEC Arena? And...
Yeah, just fill it.
We'll just have it down the road from Oakley.
I got recognised the other day again. It was quite fun. In Tesco, going up the escalator, coming down the other side, someone was like, "Hey, FTFE!" and high-fived me as they went past. I was like, yay! Mark W, £2 says, super chats haven't ended yet. Yes, they have. You just finished them. Right, I'm going to get off now and then start the after show. Guys, stay in the chat. You'll be automatically redirected there. Dave, you can go to bed. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it, mate. I'll speak to you soon. Take it easy.
All right. See you, everyone.
The Antarctic Express for $2 says, level... Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars?
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
Good morning. These words come with a storm warning. Better batten down the hatches, grab some matches and brace yourself for a long day of misery. YouTube has given me the power to reach up into the sky and show you all that we live on the ball. I bring you science that's comprehensible. Your view is indefensible. You're reprehensible. Go on, Mr. Sensible. When I was young, I never thought I would be here to see this. A pile of random nonsense dressed up as bullshit. Your ignorance will be the death of us all, like running head first full speed into a wall. You could always read a book, buy a telescope, set it up and take a photo of the moon, or just be a buffoon. I send you in a balloon up to the stratosphere in page 3.
You're a few fries short of a happy meal. You're dumber than a box of hair. The wheel's spinning but the hamster's dead, and you're as smart as bait. You forgot to pay your brain bill. You're missing a few buttons on the remote control. 24 cents short of a quarter. You're surfing in Nebraska. You're as bright as Alaska in December, and you fell out of your family tree. You don't have all the cornflakes in one box. You got an IQ of 2 and it takes 3 to grunt. The elevator doesn't go all the way up, and there's a vacancy on the top floor. Your antenna doesn't pick up all the channels. You're several nuts short of a
You're Mr.
fruitcake.
Sensible, calm down, don't go too hard. You don't need the hassle of burying Flerfs in your backyard. You're a man of science, poise and grace. Mage 2 did everything to wipe the grins off the face. So Nathan, get away from those kids. The world is not flat and it doesn't have a lid. Recognise the differences between the textbook and the Bible and control yourself. Lay off your slander and your lies. You're a bunch of knobs poisoning the well of the youth, spreading lies that you like to claim as knowledge and truth. Stop spreading fresh bullshit like the butter on your bread. Maybe your musical assault knock some sense into your head. I hope one day you'll hear these lyrics and smile, and you realise you used to be a 40-year-old child. Now it's time to wake up, open your eyes and see, and acknowledge the existence of.
You're a few clowns short of a circus. Your phone is off the hook. Your sewing machine is out of thread. You're all foam and no beer. You don't have all your dogs on one leash. An intellect rivaled only by garden tools. There's no grain in your silo, and your skylight leaks a little. Your belt doesn't go through all the loops. You couldn't pour water out of a boot without instructions on the heel. Your slinky's kinked, and you're proof that evolution can work in reverse. A few feathers short of a whole duck, one fruit
Can we
loop short of
pretend
a
that
full bowl.
airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
You thought it was over? Well, I'm still standing while you're swinging, flinging feces, talking shit just like the human centipede. You got the mind of a chimp, and I'm here to expedite your shore leave. Cause I'm a seaman, but not the kind I writ up on your mum's gums. I'm the kind that sailed submarines and fired guns. I could float a boat across the ocean with my eyes closed, circumnavigate the globe with a compass and a bag of sausage rolls. Well, all you can do is nibble on your toes. I'll smack you with the hose that you taught a water level, sit and swivel. You nasal gazing muppet, you can stuff it harder than the wallet stuffed by Warren Buffett. And I don't care about your sauces unless you're serving them. And I don't care about your lines unless you're curving them. Now step away from me, you're sucking up my oxygen with the vacuum where your brain should be, you dumb fuck. Thank you guys for watching. Stay around for more fun as I do an after show and watch Nathan Oakley berate Whitsitt for being dumb. I mean, I don't agree with Nathan Oakley, but I'm going to enjoy anyone shouting at Whitsitt because he's a despicable, lying, pathological narcissist. And yep, so Mark W for £2 says, I am down for a meetup. Be a laugh. Stay in the chat. I will see you in just a couple of minutes. Remember, stupidity is not right. Fight the fly. 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 Fight the fly.
Hi, my name's Nathan Oakley, and I have been lying to people about the Earth being flat for a lot of years. I did this to hide the fact I have a small penis.
I'm a dumb flat earther, and I don't understand science.